Good evening, everyone. We welcome you to the Balcones Heights City Council meeting. I hope everyone is doing well and had a good weekend. Notice is hereby given that the above call meeting of the governing body of the City of Balcones Heights, Texas will be held on Monday, February 23rd at 6 p.m., which it is 6 p.m. now in the Justice Center located at 3300 Hillcrest Drive, Balcones Heights, Texas 78201, to consider and act upon any lawful subject which may come before the said meeting, including, among others, the following items to be discussed and acted upon. We will now have the call to order and recording of a quorum. We now have Ms. Weaver present, Mr. Ebersol, Mr. Hernandez, and Mr. Burton. We are missing Councilman David Sellers, who is absent. Okay. So we have a quorum. Now we will move to the invocation and the pledges of allegiance to the USA and Texas flags. And we have chaplains, the prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today thanking you for our time together, Lord. We pray that as we speak tonight, those that are speaking will be heard, and those that are listening will hear, Lord. We pray your guidance and your direction, your safety on this city, the first responders and all those involved. We thank you, Lord. We pray. Amen. Pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge to the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to the Texas. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaplain, very much for that. We will now go into item number 3, public comment period. Rules for citizen participation. Citizen participation and comments are welcome, subject to the following rules. You complete a registration form. 2, you direct your comments to the city council, not an employee or to the audience. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, but may be given the time of another speaker for a total of 6 minutes if approved by the city council. In your speaking at the allotted time. 5, no play cards, banners, or any type of signs are permitted in the council chambers. And 6, your signature indicates that you will adhere to the public comment rules. And there's another observation I made in the last few meetings where there have been individuals that have approached the dais and have disrupted the meeting somewhat when they want to speak to our city administrator or our city secretary. We ask that you refrain from doing that and remain in your seats. That time and the place is another time and a place to do that, as we are in an open city council meeting, to not disrupt the meeting by going up to any staff member on the dais. So citizens may speak on any other topic they wish to bring to the attention of the governing body. The council will not deliberate on any item not on the agenda. The council may, 1, make a statement of fact regarding the item. 2, state any city policy related to the item, or 3, propose placing the item on a future agenda. Citizens who wish to speak on a specific agenda item, when that item is called for discussion, must indicate which agenda item they wish to address. And with that being said, let's move on now with the presentations. Item number 4.
Mayor, there are 2 people that signed up to speak.
Okay. I should have asked you that.
That's fine.
Do we have any, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, we have Juan Lasea.
Okay.
He wants to do a public comment.
Okay.
Which
go
would
right
be-
ahead, Mr. Bravo, and conduct that
And then we have a second one for item 8 and 9 and 10 and 11. So we'll come out of
under the same individual.
No, a different
Okay.
Mr. Eduardo Garcia.
Okay. That'll be fine.
Mr. Lasea, you can.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Juan Lasea, 223 Ronald Lane. First, I'd like to start by acknowledging the activity that you all sponsored this weekend at the park, the Painting of the Rocks. That was a very interesting, prepared function. I enjoyed it. I got a chance to communicate with some of the residents. And speaking to the residents, I saw that we're moving forward with doing some of the presentation that was given to us last month on the building of the city and adding the city dog park and things of the nature. In discussion, there was a lot of discussion by residents that were in attendance of a community garden. There was a lot of interest in a community garden. So I'd like for you guys to take an opportunity, take the time to study it, see the feasibility of doing a community garden. The residents, the ones that we live here are good, but the apartment complexes, we have such a large population of the apartment complex. I think it'll be very beneficial to the city to look at the possibility of doing a community garden. That's my comment and my observation, that just make sure that we include or study the feasibility of adding a community garden. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have another member, I think. No, it's if the items that are, as they come up, correct?
Sir.
On the number. All right, just remind me, please, Mr. Bravo. So now we have number 1, presentations. City role and responsibilities, Mr. Bravo.
Good evening, council and mayor. I want to take a moment to talk about the city role of city secretary. This role is one of the only statutory municipal officers under the Texas law, and it is comparable to the local secretary of state. Duties are defined by state law and local ordinances, so it's a bifurcated position and dictated by some of the things that are required by the state. Official record keeper, you'll see an ordinance that comes up as number 1 that you'll look at. That is just codifying that the city secretary is the official record keeper for the city. Records management and compliance. The main point here is that the Texas State Library and Archives Commission really is our golden seal of making sure that we follow those record retention time slots and that we destroy on appropriate time. So that's also in that first ordinance. You know that we take minutes and we do the agendas, et cetera, in your packets. I do that every time we meet. I'm also involved in the local election duties, and that includes a lot of the preparation, the ordinance you signed previously that called for the election, some of the drawings, et cetera, that go along with the election. There's more to do as we go forward to May. Finance filing, the local authority is the city secretary for overseeing campaign finance reports and disclosures. In some cities, they put that on the website. I don't know if we've done that in the past, but it's something that is required. The Texas Ethics Commission relationship, this is really making sure that we follow the ethics rules. I think all of you that are running this time signed up for good governance in that regard. Then open governance compliance. All of you took some quizzes and some videos about Texas Open Meeting Act and Texas Open Records. This is an important aspect of what we do to make sure that open records are complied with the requirements of turnaround time and that they're complete, et cetera. And then open meetings and making sure that we follow the rules designated to us. Relationship with state agencies, Texas Secretary of State, that's really a group that I contact frequently. They provide chief state election officer and election guidance and resources. Texas Attorney General advises on open meetings and public information laws. Texas Ethics Commission, as I mentioned, campaign finance oversight and training, and Texas State Library and Archives Commission. That really is the group that I have earmarked going to frequently every week. The job also has some of the Balcony core duties, which include municipal court administrator, workman's comp administrator, Concentra healthcare administrator, TML risk pool administrator, licenses and some permits, special projects and other duties as assigned. And then municipal court, certainly making sure that court functions well every week. They have proper handling of cash and credit cards, that we make sure that the clerks are well trained and that the budget's monitored, and that I do their evaluations and performance, et cetera. TML risk monitors workmen's compensation claims, oversees property claims, handles insurance inquiries, ensures compliance with risk management procedures, and ensures annual cybersecurity training is completed. Now that has to happen every year, and the deadline for that is August 31st. So you'll be hearing from me again about cybersecurity. We'll have to go through that again. The Concentra portal is important in that our police officers have to take certain screenings, and so I provide that information when they come back, as well as other people that go through Concentra for other needs. Licensing and oversight, the city secretary in Balcony Heights does food establishments, massage establishments, swimming pools, coin-operated machines, park reservations, and alarm permits are all under the guise of the city secretary. We are kicking off two different projects. One is going to go in April, Just FOIA. That is an open records portal. We will split on our website police from city. It is a great portal in that it tracks time. It shows all of the pieces that we put together. People that are putting in for open records requests can actually create a login and they can see it move through the process. They can't see what we're doing, but they see the trajectory of that we received it, that it's pending, and it moves forward. Once it's done, I can complete it and it will send a link to their email and they can see everything we put together for them. I think it's going to be a huge step forward in improvement of what we do. Cloud Permit is going to be launched in March. It says April here, but I think it's going to be March. And it will be the new portal that we put all those licenses that I mentioned, but also it has a robust piece that goes along with some of the building or stuff that our community development director uses. So in short, the city secretary is a central administrative leader, ensures lawful, transparent municipal operations, and all those roles that I mentioned. So do you have any questions? I just want to make sure you know that it covers more than taking minutes. Any questions? Y'all all knew that?
Council members, would like to be recognized first. Burton, Councilman Burton.
Okay, on the on the municipal court or the workman's comp administrator and stuff,
Mhm.
that's going to migrate over to our new HR person.
That's correct.
Correct. So y'all be
Yep.
okay. No, kind of marked them as I went along. Sorry. Let me go back to this one. This one was the open meetings and stuff. I've taken the Attorney General one, but does the one the seminar that you gave, does that qualify us also?
Yes.
Because I never received any type of certificate.
Yes, sir, it is. We're working on getting your certificates completed so we can put those in your files.
Thank you. And then last but not least, the Just FOIA and Cloud Permit, is this a new software are we buying this software? Is there a cost involved?
There's some cost involved, very minimal for both of them. I think the Just FOIA is like 4,000 over 12 months. And it is really a way for us to adhere to the requirements of open records. It is a challenge to any agency when you get those on the timeliness and the information has to go back. When we have to stop the clock because of inquiry into the city attorney or other attorneys, or there's a holiday, this is a great way to show the progress over time. We can just demonstrate with reports to all of you how compliant we are. Later, you'll see there's an ordinance about transparency, and this is going to get us there with open records, so I can report back on that.
I just have to say, you're always here late. You're always on top of things, and I appreciate it and keeping me informed and stuff. So
All right.
don't hesitate to say, Mr. Burton. So thank you for doing that for me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilman Burton.
Mayor,
Hernandez?
may I be
Go ahead,
recognized?
yes, sir.
Joe, I just want to say thank you for, first off, putting this book together because it's very organized. I know it took a lot of time, but
Thank you.
I was just wondering, are you going to hit us up for a raise? Is that why you're telling me? No.
Well, I'll put in there, refer to the PowerPoint presentation.
You're doing a great job. Thank you for all you
Thank
do.
you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Hernandez. Anyone else? Councilman Everson?
Is this fee gonna also be included, like when we vote for these three things, is that gonna be included in the $4,000 for the FOIA software? Is
The ordinances tonight do not have the fees in them.
it's just something the city administration is gonna take care of on
Exactly, right.
Thank you, Councilman Everson. Anything else? Any other council person?
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Joe.
Thank you.
I already said ditto.
Good deal. Okay, the other item is going to be a proclamation regarding colon cancer awareness month. Again, Mr. Ramos, excuse me?
They asked us to move that to March.
Okay, move it to March. All right, so that item is going to be presented in our March meeting. And now we have 3, recognition for a special award that somebody's going to be surprised with. Mr. Bravo, would you like to do the honors? So just a little precursor on this. I was in communication with someone we'll reveal in a little bit. And they made me aware of this. And I thought, well, why won't we make a nice little presentation for that person so that they're aware what kind of representative we have for our city and some of the accomplishments that they're doing on the outside in their work as well. No problem.
Thank you. Dear Mr. Vino,
Mr. Vino, come on
on
down.
behalf of the mayor, yes? On behalf of the mayor, city council, and staff of this city of Buckhorn Heights, I am pleased to extend our sincere congratulations and heartfelt appreciation to you on receiving the Distinguished Legal Eagle Award. Your recognition is a true testament to the exceptional legal expertise, integrity, and professionalism you consistently demonstrate in service of our city. The success of Buckhorn Heights is strengthened by dedicated professionals like you who provide thoughtful counsel, sound legal advice, and steadfast support to our elected officials and staff. Your calm demeanor, collaborative approach, and unwavering commitment to excellence have made you a trusted advisor on ordinances, policies, and complex municipal matters. Your work ensures that our city operates with transparency, compliance, and the highest ethical standards. The positive and lasting impact of your service is deeply valued and greatly appreciated. This well-deserved honor reflects not only your professional achievements, but also the high regard in which you are held by your peers and the community. We are proud to work alongside you and celebrate this significant accomplishment. Thank you for your continued dedication and exemplary service to the city of Buckhorn Heights and the residents we proudly serve. With sincere appreciation and congratulations, Mayor Johnny A. Rodriguez Jr. and the city of Buckhorn Heights. We'll take a picture after.
Yeah. So your boss, whom I've known many, many years, made me aware of it. And he said, you know, she received one of the most prestigious, highest award that our firm provides for our employees of dedicated service, loyalty, and exemplary efficiency and proficiency in what type of work that she does. And I said, wow. And he sent me a picture of you where they took a picture there at the law firm. So I said, could you get a copy of that to us? I'd like to make sure that you get recognized as well here for those achievements as well, because the entire office voted you as the legal eagle. So that means something. You're doing something right. So thank you. We hope you keep up the good work for us, and we look forward to future collaborations. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I appreciate it.
So the next one we will move is recognition of a certificate of appreciation to Mr. Frank Airbear. That's how you pronounce his name, Abear. And Mr. Abear is hard of hearing. He has where his hearing aids don't pick up a lot. But can you hear me, Mr. Abear? A little bit? Okay. So I had talked to him and asked him if he would be willing to accept this recognition. And the reason that I did was because I explained to him, and I'm doing this so he could hear a little bit. He asked me why. I don't really want to do something like that because I do it because I care about the city. I go and help and do the things that I do. And I said, Mr. Airbearer, the reason I would like to recognize you is because it's very exemplary. Considering the handicaps that you have, the hearing impairment that you have, and yet you get in your wheelchair, you go out, you help pick up trash, you clean up our park, you're there with us when we're doing movies at the park with the kids, and you're in support of things. And I told you, I said, that to me is the best exemplary way that we can show people out there as to why should they withhold themselves from donating time to help our city. If someone with the impairments that you have make that effort to do that, then it should be much easier for somebody else in the neighborhood that may have the time to come out and volunteer to help our city. And that's why I thought it was important, because you can be an advocate just by your mere actions, showing that it can be done. So thank you. Where is this? Okay, okay. Come on up to the podium, Mr. Eber. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for your service. So I'm going to read it for you so they can hear it. It's in the record. And then you can hear it as well, and you can read it as I'm reading it. The City of Balcones Heights, Texas, Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate of appreciation is proudly presented to Mr. Frank Aber in grateful recognition of your outstanding service, unwavering dedication, and continued commitment to the City of Balcones Heights. Through your faithful volunteerism and active involvement in the good governance of our community, you have generously given your time, energy, and talents to make our city stronger, more engaged, and better in countless ways. Your willingness to serve, your civic spirit, and your dedication, your willingness to serve our civic spirit and your dedication to the principles of responsible and transparent government exemplify the very best of community leadership. The City of Balcones Heights is sincerely thankful for your contributions and for the positive impact you've had on our residents, our city, and our future. Thank you for being such a good example of a good civic servant. Mr. Burbert, I'd like to present you with that. Yes, sir. On behalf of the City Council and the citizens, thank you. Yes. Mhm. Johnny. Good work. Thank you. Sure.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Hernandez, go right ahead.
Mr. Aber, can you hear me?
Can't hear you, but.
Well, he can't hear me, but I want to say something. You know, a few months ago, we had a community, I'm going to say volunteer at the park where we were raking leaves and, bringing all that together. We're going to inch them in this big dumpster that they brought. And I was so touched and moved to see Mr. Aber out there, and he was in his wheelchair with a leaf blower, and he was blowing leaves and moving them and making it eat. I mean, it was just so impressive. And so that just stayed with me. So thank you so much for your, service to the community. You're a great example, Mr. Aber. Thank you again.
Any other comments from any council members who'd like to comment?
Ditto.
Okay. Councilman Burton?
He's always out there, and whether he's got his grabber and he's got that wheelchair and he drives down here, he comes to the meetings. I think you've attended more meetings than any citizen I've seen. So thank you for doing that and supporting us. And you just, like you said, actions speak louder than words. So thank you for doing that.
Great. Thank you again, sir. We will now move on to item number 5, consent agenda items. These items may be acted upon in a single motion. No separate discussion or action on these items will be held unless requested by a council member. Public comment on these items may be heard during the public comment period. However, that does not mean the item will be considered outside the consent agenda. So first, we have the approval of the minutes for January 26, 2026. and the approval of the finance report for January 2026. Anybody would like to be
May I
recognized?
be recognized?
Councilman Burton, please.
I'd like to move to make a motion to approve in their entirety.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second that.
Councilman Molly Weaver has seconded that motion. Now we'll call for any further discussion. Councilman Burton.
Thank you. I just had a question on page 4 of the check register. We're still making payments while minimal to Davidson, Torillo, Ream, and Garza. Are we finalizing our interaction with that, or is that just housekeeping or what?
There was we had requested something for some records for the audit, and they send the records, and they charge us for sending the records.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
That should be it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Councilman Burton, you yield the floor, sir? Okay, Councilman Hernandez, you have the floor.
Maria, I have two questions for you on the budget. So on page 3, we have city public service. We have our expense there. My question is this, is when we got the air conditioner situation under control, have we seen a reduced amount in our utilities bills for electricity?
No, I have not seen a reduce of electricity, and that's something I'm going to be tackling this month because we're required by law to start saving 5% of electricity. So there's something we're going to be working as a city,
Okay.
you know.
And then my next question is on page 8, towards the bottom, it says monthly IT support, $69.50. Is that a monthly expense? Are we spending that much on IT?
Yes, that's a monthly expense. That includes everything we have, support for it includes our emails, our what is it called? Firewall, all of that, the services include that. And we have the IT representative here every Wednesday to work anything that happens during court. That's included. So there's a lot of little things included in there. At the beginning, I thought it was a big price, but if that includes all the firewalls and also there's another item, and you'll see there with our emails where they're tracking to make sure we don't have any cyber, attacks or anything like that. That's included also with the service.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from any council members? Councilman Hernandez, you yield the floor. Mr. Burton?
I do
go
have
ahead.
another question. Councilman Hernandez brought up a good point. Back on the city public service, page 3, PVT lights, street lights, does that include our stretch of I-10? We've got lights along I-10 that we pay for also.
Yes, that includes all the lights.
Okay. Thank you. I yield.
Any other questions? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. We've had discussion. Now let's go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays?
All right.
Okay. We have 4 in favor and 1 absent, so motion carries 4 with 1 absence. 4-0, no nays. Okay, we will now go ahead and move on to the next item. Item number 6, business items, the following items for discussion, consideration, and possible action. And I'd like to move through these being that they are pretty heavily worded. If we can move to them pretty quickly so we can move along the meeting and won't have to be here so late. So the discussion, the following items are for discussion, consideration, and possible action. Number 1, we will take on discussion and possible action regarding ordinance number 2026-04, regarding an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Balcones Heights, Texas, adopting a records management policy, providing definitions, declaring city records to be public property, establishing records management, policies, and procedures, designating a record management officer, adopting records, control schedules, and providing for compliance with the Texas Local Government Records Act, providing for repealer, savings and severability clauses, and providing for an effective date. Mr. Bravo, you have the floor, sir.
This is a recodification. It is not an update in any form of changing it. When I spoke to the Texas Library and Archives, we have not recodified this particular ordinance since 1998. So their recommendation is that we put it forth and that you could take a look at it and reaffirm it.
Okay, so the action will be for the city council to consider regarding ordinance 2026, which I have here to sign upon your approval or denial. What say ye, council?
May I be recognized?
Yes, sir,
I
Councilman
move to
Burton.
make a motion. Do I have to read the whole thing into record? Just the ordinance number? I move to make a, 20, I move to make an,
Move to
to
approve.
approve the ordinance 2026-04 in, as presented. That's.
There you go,
Thank
in
you.
its entirety. Okay?
That's why
any-
she's got the legal award.
Thank you.
I
have
second
a
the
second?
motion.
Okay,
think he's,
okay, great. Ms. Weaver was already ready.
I
Did you?
think you seconded, didn't you?
Okay, so we have a second by Councilman Hernandez. Let's go ahead and call for any further discussion on the item. Any further discussion? No further discussion, then we will go ahead and call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries 4 with 1 absence. That means there are no nays, 4-0. Okay, so the ordinance number 2026-04, I will go ahead and sign that and give that to you, Joe. At the end of the meeting, I'll have it here. Okay, so then we will now move on to item number 2. Discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2026-05 and ordinance City of Balcones Heights, Texas, to renew the appointment of Dr. Chichi J. Unda, Wu, MD, as the health authority for the City of Balcones Heights, Texas, for emergency purposes for a term beginning May 19, 2026, and to end May 18, 2028. Again, Mr. Bravo, your floor.
This is a annual re-up of citing him as the authority. And it simply says that if he's in charge and there's a pandemic or something that comes up, that we would defer to the expertise of that office, or she, I'm sorry, of that office.
Okay. And real, just quick question, has he been vetted very well through staff? Has staff vetted him, or he's been with us for a while and
He has
has he
been,
been reevaluated again?
Has been.
she has
He
been,
has been?
she
Okay.
has been.
All right. Anything else? Any questions from any? Councilman Eversole?
Like it's through 2028, not just 2027. So it'd be a 2-year, is this a 2-year thing then? Okay.
Yeah, May 18, 2028.
May I
It
be
matches.
recognized?
Councilman Burton, go right ahead.
I move to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-05 into record and approve for, I can't say the name, I'll just say Dr. Wu as MD, as health authority for the city of Balcones Heights.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second it.
Councilman Weaver has seconded that motion. Let's call for any further discussion.
May I be
Mr.
recognized?
Burton, yes, sir.
Is there a cost associated with this or is it like a retainer fee or anything? It's just symbolic or?
Well, we have to report any incidents of an outbreak, so it's a relationship.
Thank you.
Okay, any other further questions on that? Okay, let's go ahead and call the vote for this ordinance pertaining to ordinance 2026-05. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any nays? Okay, motion carries. All in favor of the ayes, 4, 2-0, and 1 missing. So that 1 missing is the one that carries. Okay, moving number 3. Discussion and possible action regarding ordinance 2026-06, an ordinance of the City of Balcones Heights adopting the 10 traits of good government as guiding principles for city council, committees and advisory councils, officials, employees, contracted employees, provided for implementation and application, establishing standards for conduct and governance, providing severability clause, and providing an effective date. Ms. Trevino, can you provide a little bit more of an explanation, being that we've been briefed, you and I, and
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Board-Jorquez?
So what you have before you is the brainchild of Alan Borquez, the founding member of our law firm. So Alan has participated globally with European governments and governments across the world, going through and defining those things that have been found to be the traits of good government and good governance. And so he has adopted that model into a useful model for municipal governments or local governments. If you all adopt this, you will be one of the first ones in Texas to actually adopt this as a mechanism to start moving, your city forward, giving y'all some parameters, some goals, some things to be able to measure achievement, of the city as it grows and continues forward. And so some of this is fairly easy to recognize, right? Because, there's a portion of it that's just the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But it takes it a step further and says, this is how the city will govern. This is how it will bring that sunshine in to all aspects of city governance. And, with the aspiration of you all will provide excellent customer services to everyone that approaches the city, whether you agree with their position or disagree with their position, but we'll do all that y'all can to respect everyone's rights, as residents and citizens. And so, as you kind of go through there, again, like I said, some of this is just so intuitive that you feel like, do we really need to put that in paper? But as we read every day or watch the news, I would suggest to you, yes, indeed. When you put it to paper and you kind of, for lack of a better term, put your money where your mouth is and say, we are going to try to realize these things and achieve these things for the benefit of your community. And, and again, some of these things, when you look at it, fiscally sound, when you think about it and you say fiscally sound and your city secretary just said, hey, we're bringing on 2 programs. Yes, does it cost some money to the city? Indeed it does. But in the long run, because you will be spending less time, filling your open records requirements, less time, with that, it becomes a long-term goal of achieving fiscal soundness, again, with these types of programs and stuff. A lot of wonderful, good information within there.
Councilman Hernandez, go right ahead, sir.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-06 in its entirety as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Hernandez. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second it.
Councilwoman Weaver has seconded that motion. We shall now call for any further discussions. Councilman
May I be
Burton?
recognized?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is a great synopsis of our council packet on steroids, if you will. This really puts the ink to the paper, and it outlines what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it. And, like number 10, officials take responsibility for decisions and actions. That it's clear cut. It's very well done. And thank you for bringing this to us.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, go right ahead.
I just wanted to add that we will be the first city in Bexar County to
Right.
adopt this
Mhm.
10 traits.
So
Okay.
we're the forerunner of this particular ideology and innovative thinking on how to manage governments for our community. Councilman Hernandez, you had?
Yes, Sylvia, I have a question. So under section 4, servability, can you kind of lay that out for me in English?
So in English, what that says is that if for some reason or another, your ordinances get challenged and a court order comes through here and say, we'll just pick one. Section 2 of your ordinance is unconstitutional, but all the rest of your ordinance is constitutional. What that means is that section 2 is out and the remainder of of your ordinance survives. Yep. 10 words. Well, why do it in 10 words when we can do it in 30?
Yeah, great. Councilman Ebersol?
Are there any cost implementation fees to this, or?
No, sir. There's no cost. This is all just
Okay.
the power of will.
Any other questions? So the reason I brought this, once it was brought to my attention, at the very beginning, when the Bordrickes law firm came to us, he approached me with this particular 10 traits. And I thought I would let some time pass so we can get assimilated as a council before we presented this. Then later, Maria brought it to my attention that I think we were ready to do this. And I agreed to go ahead and let's move forward with it. And the reason I did is because it's in line with the general mission purposes that we have articulated to our general population. That is the three things that we're going to do: the economic development, the making our community the safest city in the county, and third but not least, the performance metrics and the data-driven component of what we're doing with our city. And so this falls right in line with it. It works hand in hand. So I think it's an excellent thing, and I applaud the council for making the motion. So we have 2 votes on there. Do we have any other comments by anybody before we take a vote? Anybody want to comment on anything? Councilman Weaver?
I'm just real happy about it. I think it's something that we've been doing, but that we're going to continue to do.
Great. Any other comments? Okay, we have a vote on the table. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, no nays. The motion carries 4 to no nays, with 1 missing from Mr. Sellers. Okay, thank you, council. So we'll move on to the next one. Discussion and possible action, item number 4, to approve the purchase of Tyler Finance software. And so, Maria, would you go ahead and provide the explanation
Yeah,
for that?
Mayor, I'm good. Supposed to have introduced our new employee at the
Okay.
beginning of the meeting, and I forgot.
Is
So,
it in here? I don't see.
yeah, she is here.
No, but I'm saying, oh, yes, no, but it's not anywhere here.
No,
on
it's
the
not
actual
because.
agenda, but yeah,
Mhm.
I'll entertain that. Let's go
I
ahead.
just added a memo in your packet regarding the reasoning for why we decided to hire an HR person. The Human Resource Association requires one HR person per 50 employees. We have 60. And this is the first time the city of Balcones Heights is going to have an HR specialist. She's going to take over everything related to employees, payroll, health insurance payments, and TMRS, the retirement thing, and then workers' comp. So she's gonna be the one to go for all the employees if they're sick and they need to make sure their health insurance is working. They're gonna go to her. So if you want to read this on your spare time, I added it on your packet. So I want to introduce you, Felicia Garza. You can give a speech.
Hi, Felicia.
Good evening,
Again, nice.
Council and Mayor. Just a little bit of information about myself. As she said, my name is Felicia Garza. I am very excited to be working with the city of Balcony Heights. I actually live near the area, about 6 minutes away. So this is definitely my community. I've also worked in the past 3 years out of Morgan's Wonderland, at Wonderland Mall. So I'm very familiar with the community and the surrounding area. And I'm really excited to, looking forward to working with everybody. And I think I have introduced myself to pretty much everybody in the room. If I have not yet, I'm sorry, I will get to you. But my name is Felicia Garza. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Ms. Garza? Anyone? Okay. Thank you, Maria, for making sure we took care of that. That was very instrumental in the component of how we're going to continue to operate. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Any other questions and any other comments? Maria, anything else in closing?
No, that'll be
Okay.
it. Mhm.
All right, we'll now move over to the item number that I discussed, the Tyler Finance Software, item number 4.
Oh, okay. As I have mentioned to several of y'all about our Tyler software that I've been trying to get since I got here. Seeing how we have a different software for payroll and then another one for finances and another one for court is very difficult to do finances all at once. You know, payroll takes the entire day to do payroll. And when I got here, I'm like, why does it take so long to do payroll when it should take us at least a couple of hours? So investigating what is the process. It takes long because we have different softwares and they don't talk to each other. So by getting Encode to do finances and payroll, it will help also court because we already have Encode for court. And Tyler is the main name, Encode is like the sub name. So I will refer them to Tyler Encode, but it's the same software. So let's say we run payroll with Encode, it goes straight to our finance module. So it will show the items on the finance portion of the budget right away. Right now, we're running payroll. And before the end of the day, we have to go do a journal entry to account for each item on the budget for payroll. So that's a portion of payroll. In the court section, a payment is taken on Encode for court. Then at the end of the day, the money's counted. Joe goes, gets the money. He has to spend time to put one payment can take up to 10, 15 line items on the finance part. So he has to go and make sure every portion of that payment goes to that line item. Then the finance director has to go enter it into our finance software so we can show it on the budget. So, and at the bank also. So to avoid all that, this software talks to each other and we don't have to do all that. Court takes a payment. At the end of the day, they close their register. It goes straight to the finance portion. Joe approves it. And the money goes to the bank, gets approved by the bank. So it's faster and it's easier for each department to track their budget. They can go and see how much they have left, how much they have spent in every line item. So I'm asking for the Tyler software. It's $62,360 to begin with. We have, we can use money on the court side technology fund, and we can use some on our general fund money to pay for that. We're not gonna pay it all at once because it's gonna take, sadly, it will take up to a year to get it because how busy this company is trying to get everybody going. So we will pay just a portion this year. And then in the next fiscal year, when we get it, that's when we will pay the rest of the money. Okay. We will not have Paycom or Bucks. So we will be paying for this software, the $28,000 a year.
Mayor,
Yes.
may I be recognized?
Yes, Councilman Burton.
This software streamlines the process. And the money spent on this, you'd be putting towards 3 different software companies. So it's almost a wash, not quite, but it's almost a wash and it reduces staff time and makes life easier for the accounting and makes life easier for that young lady over there. And I think it's a good idea. I yield for it.
Councilman Eversole.
It's gonna cost money to convert our data over to this new system, is that correct?
Is the $62,000 that's gonna cost
Just for the
conversion to get the software?
to get the software and convert
That's
the
the-
data.
Does it turn on everything? That's gonna cost 62. You can see the breakdown in the packet, but the cost that's gonna cost to get Encode financial and payroll, it will be $62,360.
Okay. You said the funds are gonna come out of, some of the funds are gonna come from someplace and
From municipal court technology fee, every time somebody pays for a ticket, There's a technology fee item on that ticket. And we won't have bucks or payroll or Paycom. So like Councilman Burt said, it's gonna be a wash per se.
Any other comments? Councilman Eversol, you yield the floor. Do you have more questions? Okay, any other questions from
may I
any
be
council
recognized?
members?
I move,
Burton, go right
I
ahead.
move to make a motion to approve the Tyler Technologies.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Burton to approve item number 4, which is the purchase of Tyler Finance Software. Do we have a second to that motion?
I second it.
Okay, Ms. Weaver has seconded that motion. We'll call for any further discussion.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, you can, Councilman Hernandez. Go right ahead.
So, Maria, the reoccurring fees, is this like the annual subscription cost?
Yes, sir.
No, what is our current annual subscription cost for the other 3?
I will email you that. I was trying to get it all day long, but I kept running and
Okay.
didn't get to that.
Do you-
But I'll
do-
get it, all
Do
of
you
it.
know what the difference is? Like just how much more or less?
It's gonna be a little bit more.
A little bit more?
So we will be taking a little bit more from court for technology fee every month.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, Councilman Everett, you yield the floor, Mr. Hernandez.
Yield the floor.
Mr.
That was my
Eversol?
concern. I felt like this was rushed and that we didn't have the numbers to show where we are and where we're going to. I know you're telling me a lot of good ideas, but I find it a little difficult to approve something that I don't see the actual numbers and how this is going. That's why I was hoping that we could possibly slide this down to a little bit to the next month or the next, or even into the next budget cycle. So we have a chance to look at what you're actually trying to throw at us instead of just a sheet of paper that says this is a great deal. This is a trade-off and let's spend a bunch of money. I did some research online and some of the conversion costs look like they ran into like some crazy numbers. And that's why I had some red flags about this. I think it's a great idea, but at the same time, I want to make sure that because the city's budget the finances have been going down for the last 3 years, I want to make sure that we don't just sink the boat in order to try and, for a great idea. And so that's what I would like to see, more numbers before I just say yes.
The conversion cost will be 62,360. That will be the turn on for our software. Okay, I'll get that for you.
Just would like to see concrete information on paper. We're supposed to be doing comparative analysis based on just what you're telling us right now. And I think it'd be better to see it on paper so we could just look at it. And it should be obvious what's going on. And I'm concerned about the city finances right now, and so I think this is important to look at before I just say yes.
Okay, thank you, Councilman Eversol. You yield the floor, sir. Okay, Councilman Hernandez.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is on paper right here. She has the breakdown. But my question, Maria, has to do with how much do you have, I guess, that we can pull from the court now?
We have a good amount. We have about 100,000.
100,000?
With technology and to call municipal court technology and municipal court security funds.
So we're not
Mhm.
you're not asking for like additional monies to go to the budget. We already have it,
We
but it's,
already have it.
we already have
Yes,
it.
sir.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Yes, Councilman Burton, go right ahead.
Is court a fenced fund?
It's what,
Is that a fenced fund?
fence fund? What do you?
Fenced. You can only use it to spend on,
Yes, that's why it's, there's a technology portion of it that can only be used for technology. And since this is gonna provide payroll for court and also finance for court, we can use it for that.
thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions?
So we could
Councilman
use,
Eversol?
we could use a larger portion of that, or a good chunk of that in order to make that work, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so it's not like we're gonna be tapping the general fund like a lot if we don't
No.
need to. Okay,
Mhm.
I just want to make sure the funds are not being compromised.
Okay. Any other questions for the council members on this item? And we have a motion on the floor. We have a second to that motion. Let's go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have, was that aye, Mr. Eversol? Okay, so we have the motion carries 4-0 and with one vote missing with Mr. Sellers. Okay. Thank you very much, council. Well, let's move on to item number 5. We're moving along very well. That was at 6:45. We are now at 7, so we spent about 10 minutes on that. Moving on to item number 5, discussion and acceptance of the audit report prepared by Armstrong and Vaughn and Associates for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. Ms. Roach, Kim Roach, welcome to our council meeting again.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. I'm happy to be here this evening with you again to go over the audit report for the year ended September 30th, 2025. Hopefully in your packets, you'll see that you do have the detailed annual comprehensive financial report, but similar to last year, I also have a single page for you that's just the audit highlights. So for the sake of just being able to put kind of the focus on one page and give you a little bit of a better historical comparison, I thought I would stay with the audit highlights for presentation, but I'm happy to entertain any questions you may have about the detailed report as well.
I give some direction. The summary is in your packet. The additional information is in this book I passed out at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes, there's the 2 parts. So we have these 4 pages here, and then we have the actual annual
It's a
comprehensive.
summary of 1 page.
Yeah, it's in the first page right here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. This one here, the audit highlights.
Yes, sir.
Okay, council, that's your purview. Anybody would like to be recognized with any questions? Councilman Burton, you have the floor, sir.
I would like to show that on the highlights page, the second line down from our previous Tyler audit or for the Tyler Technologies, current is $147,668 in that fund for that we're not taking into general or capital or anything like that. I just wanted to point that out from the previous. There was questions as far as what was in the balance of.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but if I can expand on that, so that 147,000 exactly that you're looking at, that does represent the ending fund balance as of September 30, but that does represent court technology and building security. So I don't know that the entire balance would be allowable for changing to the Tyler software. Also, some of the Tyler software probably would need to come out of general fund just because, again, that's covering more than just court. But that is why it was brought up as being a portion could be used.
Great, Ms. Roach. I think our city secretary, Ms.
City Administrator, don't demote me,
I'm
don't
sorry.
demote me.
Mr. Rao was the city secretary, Ms.
Okay,
Administrator.
just real quick, this legislature session in 2025, the legislature allowed for the cities to have just one account for technology and security. Before it was 2 separate, so a lot of the cities weren't able to use it for one item because it was like a few dollars on the technology, a few dollars on security, and you can only use it for those items. Now they allow us to put it together and use it for more items that we can, that way we have more money to use.
Any other questions? Any other comments from any council members for Ms. Roach?
Yeah,
Mr. Burton?
and we have a healthy 3-month, our 3-month reserve is healthy right now. What would you say it is sitting at right now?
So as of September 30, the amount that was just in your unassigned portion of the general fund, which would represent basically spending on any general activities, is at 3.8. The GFOA usually recommends somewhere between 2 to 5 months. So you are at that mid-range of the 2 to 5 months recommendation. And that is just what's in your unassigned portion. However, it is important to note that, yes, that has been declining over the years. Yes, sir. So again, while you're in that healthy position, just always wanting to make sure that you are kind of looking at that historical trend as well.
That's a good point. For upcoming things that we're going to be discussing. Anything else? Any other council members? Any other comments?
EC is also in a decline
Mr.
as well.
Eversol?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right ahead. Yes, go right ahead.
Say also the EDC board is, their council, their agenda is going down, also their finances, correct?
Yes, sir. That's also been displayed here on that audit highlights page. So it's actually kind of about the middle section. So that Economic Development Corporation or the Economic Development Fund, you'll notice that its ending fund balance has also, as you say, been declining about 350,000 per year. And the primary reason for that is, of course, the city is using those particular funds to pay for the note that was taken out to finance that purchase of that portion of the investment. So the only reason why you actually have that investment is because you do actually have that property, that investment property. So that's your asset, but the fund balance is going down because there's not revenue coming in the way that was expected to pay for those debt payments. So that's the reason for that decline.
Gordon?
And I'd like to note that is a $140,000 out of pretty much every quarter
Mhm.
that we've been paying and not seeing any revenue come back in. So I'm depending and hoping the Economic Development Corporation
Straightens that
will
out.
straighten that out and turn it around so that we start seeing some numbers come in on that.
Yes. And just to clarify, so you are correct, there's no actual cash flow coming in, but you may see in the audit report, there is revenue shown in that particular fund. And the reason for that is the city is utilizing space over there for particular office space. And so even though the city is not receiving cash, you're also not paying cash for that rent. So it's sort of an in-kind or in lieu of payment. And so we've recognized the value of that as revenue to that EDC fund.
You have the senator's office as well.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
May I be recognized?
Yes.
This is a question for anybody who can answer it. Wasn't our payment to that for $1? The lease was for only $1.
That's correct.
Well, I do know that value also included some other items and everything. It was a value that was provided by the finance director here at the time. And so it was, historically, it was in line with what you had actually been paying. So I don't know if there had been a new arrangement drawn up for the value of what was going to be paid for those office spaces. But the adjustment that he had recognized, we felt like was very reasonable and in line with what had historically been paid.
And that's probably electricity and technology, computer, and that kind of stuff is the activity in that account, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? So the only question I had is in reference to the uncorrected,
Mhm.
corrected misstatements, although that the following uncorrected financial statement, misstatement is determined by management to be immaterial to the financial statements taken as a whole. Could you explain to me, as previously mentioned, the city implemented a GASB Statement 101
Yes, sir.
related to compensated absences. This would have added $137,906 to the liability as of September 30th, 2024. Rather than reinstate the prior year's financials, the increase was recorded in the current year government-wide expenses, overstating them by the same amount.
Yes, sir.
Give me a better explanation, just the nuts and bolts for the council.
Yes, sir. I'd be happy to. So there was a new standard that was implemented, was required for all government entities to implement this year for the fiscal year ended September 30, 2025. Historically, what was recognized as a long-term liability of the city was not recognized in your budgeting fund balance type of expense, but we did have to recognize on the government-wide statements, which is basically where we put all those long-term liabilities, things that are going to be paid out more than a year later. But what we recognized was only the part of your compensated absences that was expected to be paid upon termination. So for example, if an employee had 200 hours of vacation and they resigned from their position or they retired, then there would be a payout related to that. That was the only liability as the audit we were required to recognize. However, due to this new standard, what it required is now any time, any compensated time that was expected to be paid out or used also had to be recognized as a liability. So that's why it now increased your liability. Still always included the payout that would be paid out. But what it did is it now pulled in, well, sick time, since it was not going to be paid out upon termination, had never been recognized before. Now, sick time is expected to be used, so now it is included in this liability. So 130,000, while that does sound material, is actually not considered material to the city's overall financial statements. So therefore, rather than restating the prior year audit, what we were allowed to do is say we basically implemented this retroactively and increased this year's expenses by that 130,000 instead of having to restate the previous audit report. So these expenses in this particular audit will be higher by that 130,000. If you were to fast forward and compare to next year, it would look like your expenses might have dropped, but it's because it really just took into account this year as if it all got earned in 1 year.
Did you determine the rationality by our finance director for doing something like that
Yes, sir.
in the past years and to the present time?
Yes, sir. It's actually a very common thing to do when implementing a new accounting standard like this, simply because the previous audit report obviously has already been approved by council. It's already been presented to the Government Finance Officers Association. And so it's a very difficult process to actually restate or restate the previous year. And so ideally, it's done like this as what's just kind of rolled into the current year if it falls beneath that threshold of what's considered material. So just to give you a feel, our calculation of what we determined was overall material for the whole city would have been 476,000. So you can see we felt like this was quite a bit lower than that calculation, and therefore we felt like this was a much easier way of presenting your audit this evening.
This will provide for more realistic, transparent, actual number that we can know that it's going to be in our budget, and an increase of 137,906 at least at this point.
Well, again, this isn't going to impact any of your budgeting purposes because this isn't actually any dollars that are being paid out by the city. It's simply recognizing the possibility that employees may use their sick time, which they've always done before, but it's just never been required in the audit to be presented or quantified, and now it has been. So that's why, again, I want to just point out that it is only hitting what's called the government-wide financial statements, basically just like your bonds or your notes. You don't necessarily budget for those any more than just what your upcoming principal payments are going to be. Same thing with this new standard. You would simply only budget for what your salaries are going to be for your employees, and that's not going to have any other change to your budget with this new standard coming into play. It simply just increases the liability of what could potentially be a cost to the city through that individual salary.
Thank you, Ms. Roach, very much for that explanation.
Yes, sir.
You'll be recognized.
Councilman Burton?
And this only goes back to September 30th, 2024, right?
That's correct, because basically we now have that included in the liability as of September 30, 2025 through this year's expenses. So going forward, it would simply just be the normal change from 1 year to the next. This was just sort of a retroactive catch-up.
Okay, I'll entertain a vote to either accept or deny the acceptance of the report prepared by Armstrong Vaughn and Associates for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2025. Do we have a motion on the floor for either of the two? Councilman Burton,
Mayor.
you recognize?
I move to make a motion that we approve the audit for
Okay.
September 30th, 2025.
Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I'd like to second that motion, Mayor.
Councilman Hernandez is recognized as seconding that motion. Do we have any further discussion or any questions pertaining to the item on the agenda? Okay, let's go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we have any nays? Councilman Burton, did you say aye or? Aye, okay. So we have all yeas. There are no nays. Motion carries. Thank you very much, Ms. Roach, for coming out and taking the time to explain this to us, answering our questions. Okay, a motion carries. So now we move to item number 6, discussion and possible action, engagement of Eat It Up Marketing. Ms. Maria Hernandez.
A few months ago, we had a presentation by Eat Up Marketing, and that it was, we asked them to give us this presentation because we were looking for ideas on how to showcase our city and also promote our businesses that we have, because we feel like the better the businesses are doing, the better it is for us because we get sales tax. And more businesses are going to want to come to our city if we do that. If you see the presentation, can you put it on the, there, right now, eat up, and if, this just for your information, if you want to go through that, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. They gave a good presentation. Right now, they're working for the city of San Antonio, south downtown by the Frost area. And what they're doing for that, they're having, they had a very good event that I'm sorry I missed it, but they had a passport where they had all the businesses and restaurants open on one, I think it was Tuesday night, and they chose Tuesday because it's free parking on Tuesdays downtown. And people went from restaurant or business down the road, and they kept punching their passport. And at the end, whoever got their passport punch, from all the businesses, they get to be participating in a drawing. And the drawing was free rooms in a hotel there downtown in that section of the downtown area, which is by the Frost Tower. And so we thought this could be a good thing to bring to the city. Again, if you want to see if you want to read the presentation and have any question, let me know. I can ask them to come and present in person. It's a group of young individuals with a lot of energy, and I think that it will be good for our city, especially for the Fredericksburg corridor, where we can open up to have something similar that they did for the downtown area in San Antonio to promote all of our businesses. They also have a Facebook platform where they will be showcasing the city and announcing every event that we have or the businesses that we have. Do you have anything to add, Roy? We all saw that presentation.
Yeah, I thought it was a very interesting presentation. I think it would be very effective just because, like you mentioned, it's a lot of people that are around my age or a little older, and things work differently in our world, right? Everything is digital, social media, and the way I've seen things here is that we're still doing things, like it's the 80s, 90s, and we're behind. So that's what's kind of been my role, right, in the city, in my department. Could I do something like this? 100%. But when I, refer to my department, it's just me, right? So I need to make sure that the city is, moving with the events and all the moving parts that, I'm responsible for here in the city. But like Maria was mentioning, if they can help us promote and showcase our restaurants, which we have great restaurants, the mall, there's a lot of hidden gems, in the little shops. And I think it would be sort of an investment, right, into our businesses. And like Maria mentioned, when they do good, we do well. So it's just, I think it would be a great idea for them to come do the presentation and, just see what the council thinks. I thought it was great. But I think if they could come, maybe in the future, it would be helpful.
Any other comments, Ms. Maria? Any other comments? Okay.
No, you can see how they charge in one of the slides. It's on the soon phase pricing, and they break it down by different services that they provide. So again, this is for your information. If you think this is something you guys gonna be interested on, we can always have them come and present and show what they can do for the business area of the city.
And if I may be recognized, I do want to add that, for example, in the slide where it says now establish the foundation, there's some things that I have already done, right? Like the city brand, we already have our logos, we have our color palette, our typography. There's a lot of things that I have already done, and there's things that I can continue to do or add. So, we can always ask them to, maybe change their pricing or like their scale with, we don't need them to work on this if we already have it, right? So it's just, I do want to point that out.
Thank you, Ron. Mr. Eversol, I think you had a question.
Okay, a couple things. I noticed that this company's, like you said, they're young. This company hasn't been in business 5 years yet. I usually say it takes 5 years to become a company, just because you're still working out the bugs in what you're doing and how you're doing business. I also noticed the upfront cost is, it looks like for the upfront cost is like $6,500. Is that right off the top? Is that what we're talking about? Or am I incorrect there?
No, that is correct, but that will be for branding. We already have that. Roy has done that already. So it will be items that we already have, so the price will change because we will just use them for items that we need help with. Because like Roy said, he's just a one-man shop.
So is it, see, I was gonna say, Roy is doing some of this stuff already. And also I noticed here in the budget, we have already paid them $2,000 on 126. Is that correct? And what was that for?
That was for a presentation that we're gonna be taking outside the country to try to bring investors to the city, and that was paid by the hotel funds.
It was paid for by the hotel fund?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, those are the only questions I had at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman
Mayor, you have
Eversol.
your recommend-
Councilman Hernandez?
Oh,
He
I'm
wanted
sorry.
Yes.
before after that, and I'll recognize you after that.
Maria, my question is, are you looking for us just to give you, like, let's say, approval to engage, and then there's no monetary at this point, and then we're going to see the presentation?
It's correct. And for you to review what I'm presenting here, that way if you have any questions, let me know. And I can ask them to come to the next meeting and present themselves, and we can go from there.
So
Mhm.
there's no cost for them?
No
to come
costs right
present?
now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Councilman Burton?
So for lack of a better words, this is an à la carte business. You're just picking menus that you want, that we've already established. And
That
so,
is correct, sir.
Council, how do we make a motion on this? We're just,
You're going to.
a motion to engage with the
Engage is
company?
correct, Councilman Burton. That's all it is.
Okay.
So,
So it's no
right,
cost
so
to
it
us
just
now.
depends on, do you want them to be here next month to do a presentation?
Presentation.
Then that's going to be your motion. Your motion is to have the city manager coordinate their appearance for a presentation next month.
At no
And-
cost to the
and-
city.
And I would kind of like to see a testing the water, if you will, to see how they perform, like maybe it's going to take more than 6 months. It's going to take more than a year. It's going to take, it's a long-term investment. But I would like to test the waters with this company. Like Mr. Eversol mentioned, they're a fairly young company. I'm sure they're doing good work and stuff. But I would like to test the waters, if you will.
That would be great.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor just for the engagement so that they can come and do the secondary phase of a presentation to see if it's something that the city would like to engage in at either tiered, whatever. Councilman Hernandez, did you have a few comments, sir?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to instruct the city administrator to engage with Eat It Up Marketing and have them come and do a presentation.
All right, we have a second to Councilman Hernandez's motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Councilman Burton. I'll call for any further discussion. Any other questions? Okay, we'll go ahead and call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Do we have any nays? Motion carries 4-0, 1 absent. Okay, let's move on down to the next item, number 7. Discussion and possible action regarding a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Balcones Heights Economic Development Corporation Type B, engage in Hyde Kelly LLP to provide special counsel, legal services to the corporation, designating an attorney in charge, providing for repeal, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. We have Mr. Roger Enriquez, who's the Chair of the Economic Development. Professor Enriquez, would you like to come up and elaborate a little bit on this item, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. For the entire time that I've sat on the EDC now, which has been over a year, our counsel has been Clay, who is technically not our counsel. He's actually the bond attorney that was part of the WODA transaction. The EDC, since I've been on the board, has not really had an attorney assigned to it to sort of shepherd our meetings, our negotiations, any of the other numerous things that come up as part of the EDC. And so George Hyde, who's been recommended to us, is an EDC attorney. He is the EDC of for several different municipalities as well. I don't know if that's in your packet or not, or his credentials are also in your packet. But this is just merely a step to legitimize the work of the EDC and having a proper council, EDC-oriented council, first and foremost at our meetings and as part of the discussions that we have with respect to the work of the EDC. It is, and just piggybacking on the earlier conversation, there is no retainer that's being requested at this point. And again, I'm not 100% sure what you have in your packet at this point, but you will see that there's also, through negotiation, a reduction in the typical hourly rate as well. But it's a bill for service.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Enriquez regarding this particular?
All I
Item.
received was the resolution.
Okay,
I didn't really,
Mr. Burton, is that your view? Okay. Councilman Eversole, you asked to be
I
recognized.
did take the liberty to call Mr. Hyde today.
Good, good.
He gave me a little synopsis. He says, you guys have, like you said, you recently discovered him out of Austin. He also came and said, one of my favorite things, that he's interested in trying to reduce property taxes over the long term. And there's lots of potential for revenue coming in the city once we straighten out the mall situation. So lower taxes, he had my attention.
Thank you.
and this comes 100% out of EDC, correct? I'm sorry, may I be recognized?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
This comes out, all out of EDC?
Yes.
That's correct. Currently, and it's been there for a while, there's roughly $30,000 in legal. There's a budget for $30,000 allocated, correct?
Thank you.
Any other question?
I have a question. So, Dr. Enriquez, so currently, technically, Clay Brentford's not our EDC attorney, but he does bill us, doesn't he?
No.
Or no?
No, he has not billed us actually as a result of, some of this perhaps we may want to do it in executive because it does impact current negotiations over WODA. Clay's relationship, Benford and that law firm, was the original bond attorney that assisted the city of Balcones Heights and the EDC in procuring the loan and the whole structure of the WODA agreement. He's been instrumental. This is in no way a reflection on his phenomenal assistance in that regard. His institutional memory is, as it relates to this whole transaction, has been instrumental in us even being able to get to the point that we're at right now. It's just that it becomes clear that if we're going to turn the page, we probably need to have our own attorney who can assist us in the next phase of our development and redevelopment plans as it relates to Wonderland of the Americas and the work of the EDC.
One more question. So you said that there's no retainer. The money that we already have allocated, based on, I guess, whatever services he provides, and he'll just bill us accordingly, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve appointing Mr. Kelly as the attorney for the EDC.
Okay, motion is noted. Do we have a second to that motion?
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a second to that motion. Now you have the opportunity to discuss any further questions or that you may have pertaining to this motion. Go ahead, Councilman
My,
Burke.
my only question, he's basically billing us hourly for,
That's correct. And in his entire, I will get that, Mayor, I will provide that term sheet or the hourly rate of not just him, but the other folks that work for the firm.
All right, so we'll go ahead and call the vote if there's no other questions or concerns. Any other questions or concerns? Okay, we'll go ahead and call the vote. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Do we have any nays? None. Motion carries 4-0, one absent. Yes, ma'am, Ms.
Thank you.
Maria?
Mayor, can I ask you, we can skip down the line to our B designer so he can present? He's been waiting and
Okay.
for the
So you
visitor
want to
center.
jump to number 12?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did they have any objections from the city council? Okay, then I'll go ahead and make a chair decision. Well, let's move over from completing item number 7. We'll move to item number 12, and then we'll resume on item number 8 when we finish with number 12. So discussion and possible action regarding presentation on the visitor center at WODA, Maria Hernandez and Mr. Benavides.
The EDC and the city is working on doing a visitor center, and our
WODA office.
water office. I always try to say lot numbers, but no, it's the office. And this is the design that we have come up with. Later on, maybe next month, we will present the contractors that will be bidding for this project. And this will help also the city to be able to promote our city. We will have also areas for to sell Fiesta medals, T-shirts, things like that, or any items from city vendors like jewelry, things like that that they make. So this is Andrew Benavides. He's been our designer working with us on this project.
Mr. Benavides, go right ahead, sir.
Good evening,
Okay, Maria.
council. As Maria mentioned, we are locating the visitor center inside WODA. You can go on to the next slide. Located in Suite 847 on the first floor. Here we have the existing floor plan. Generally, it's just an open office space and really large toilet rooms and a kitchenette. Go on to the next slide. So as you're walking through the mall, on the north and the south through the food court, those are your primary views that right now it's obstructed by frosted glass right now. But what the idea is to open it up more to the public. And so I just want to have you keep those sides in mind. So as we move to the next slide, or when we get to the next renovation slides, that you'll see why those views are important. So in this slide, we divided the space into public and private space. The green side is pretty much the visitor center side, as the red is more of the private use and utilized for office and conference space. Next slide. So here we have is the current floor plan where as you're walking through the visitor center, one of the first things that you'll notice is the hologram display. And here's where we're trying to attract more visitors with maybe some advertisement or anything that the city would like to showcase in the display. And then we have the front desk on the south end. We have shelves for T-shirts or any merchandise, and then this little snack area in the lower
corner of the visitor center. And then on the north side, where you see tier shelves, there's a little selfie wall for, the newer generation that likes to take selfies, but we have some vinyl graphics that will be displayed on those walls. So when people come to the visitor center, they can take selfies and pictures of the history of what Balcones used to be. And then the back of house, 2 new offices, restrooms that are more appropriate size for what we currently use, usually about 8x8 toilet rooms. But what it is now is really just an oversized toilet room. And now we're able to also add a conference room / little kitchenette nook to the back of house as well. And then, of course, a support rooms as a electrical room and custodial rooms. Next slide. So the next few slides are just going to be the existing spaces. This is as if you're walking straight through the current space and you're looking towards the back of the wall. Next slide. So now this is as if I were staying in the back of the office, looking straight out to the corridor of the mall. And next slide. This is the current kitchenette space. Next slide. The oversized toilet room, you can see the whole distance between the toilet and the sink. It's not usually a common space for a toilet room. So the whole goal was to let's utilize the space a little bit better and to accommodate the office size or the office space or the visitor center. Next slide. And this is the other toilet room. Next slide. So this is actually the new entrance of the proposed visitor center, where in the center will be a hologram. You have 2 digital displays in the front, and then in the far back, you would have shelves for T-shirts or any merchandise that the visitor center is willing to sell. Front desk kiosk for anyone who has questions, and you can see a portion of the selfie wall. You'll probably have a better view in another slide. Next one. So you can see the visitor center a little bit better, or I'm sorry, the selfie wall a little bit better. There's a picture of John Wayne cutting cake, in the west wall. Next slide. And then here's just another view as if you're standing in the selfie center or selfie wall, you can see the corridor of the mall. And then next slide. Here's the new updated conference room. And then we have the new kitchenette nook, coffee space. And then I don't know if you guys are noticing, but there were also floating ceilings as well. They're like soundproof panels and just sound absorption, but also for the aesthetics of the space, since we have a high ceiling of 13 feet. So it just kind of lowers the space just a little bit. Next one. This is the new toilet room, just the average size of what one should be. And then the next one. This is the public toilet room. And then next one. Any questions?
Okay, we'll open it up for any questions. Ms. Weaver?
Do we have this in our budget?
The money for this is going to be coming from the hotel funds?
The hotel funds?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure I beat y'all.
Great. Any other questions? Councilman Burton?
Okay, first off, I just want to make sure in our hot fund that we have enough for our Hispanic trails and our music fest. My next question would be, who's staffing this? Who's going to live there?
It's going to be an office for the mayor. And we will have to, I guess, in the future, try to find somebody that will staff it or volunteer, whoever wants to sell their merchandise there to promote Balcones Heights.
That's not very
And also the
definite.
EDC chair will be there as well.
But they're not there during business hours, so you taught this as, we're selling T-shirts, we're selling this and that. They're not there, and
We'll have somebody there. Students, we'll have volunteers, we'll have it staffed. It'll be staffed. Not gonna go to waste. After all that work and money, it
Right.
won't be wasted.
and how much are we looking at for this?
Would you like me to? Okay, so when I first, when it first came to me with the project, I estimated around 330,000. And then as the project went on and got a contractor's initial bid, he actually came in lower than what I proposed, around 240,000, with at least another 35,000 in contingency, throughout the phase of the project in construction. But it would be around 240 to 330,000 is an estimate.
Okay. The slide with the layout. I mean, if we were to do this, do we need 2 bathrooms in there and for more office space? And will the office space be locked? Will it be only city staff going in there if you've got a student, if you're manning this with a student or whatever the case may be?
There will be a question for the mayor and the EDC director, because those will be their offices.
Go ahead, Roger.
The entire purpose of the visitor center is that it be sustainable on its own. And so the idea behind it is that there's generates sufficient sales in order to be able to sustain itself, either with staff. It will be probably open limited hours in the initial stages. The mall, we've looked at the traffic. The traffic is primarily, quite frankly, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That is when there's most folks visiting the mall right now. Ultimately, when we get sales going, our expectation is that it'll be able to sustain itself with people that work there in order to generate sufficient income in order to at least kind of keep it going. The idea behind it is that it would showcase particular vendors from the city of Balcones Heights, people that sell all kinds of wares and whatnot, in order to be, and our own branded T-shirts, hats, whatever the case may be, in the visitor center itself. So the idea, I'll just call your attention to currently, we literally pay no rent right there, right now. We do not.
We do.
We do not.
We pay for electricity, we pay computers.
That's not rent. That's not rent, and that's not CAM.
It's still money.
Still something.
It's still money spent.
A couple.
I don't think you can sell enough T-shirts at $334,000 to recoup our investment.
So the idea behind it, of course, is anything, the hotel occupancy tax, the purpose of it is to create visitors into the community itself. That is one of the main reasons, or probably the most important reason, is to generate the beds and heads, right? Or heads and beds, or whatever it is. Along with that it's not just the sale of the shirts, but also coordinating special events and other things that would bring people to Balcones Heights. So rent-wise, and again, I mean rent, I don't mean overhead. And again, the overhead is minimal as well, because we're not paying what's typically referred to as CAM, common area maintenance, or any of that. It is a true $1 a year lease. So if we're going to have a presence in what it really amounts, there's 6.1 million visitors to the mall every year. If you want to talk about a touch point for the city of Balcones Heights, it is the mall. the idea behind it is that this would generate sufficient revenue from the sales, from the creation of folks to come and visit and think about having their events here, et cetera, whether they be music events or other types of events, then that would be the place where they would meet. But that is if you want to call it the front porch of Balcones Heights, that's kind of the idea behind it.
I think it's a great idea, and I think once we get more of a handle on WODA, but I don't think this is the time to pull the trigger on spending $334,000. And I will note that our hot funds right now are sitting, as of September 30th, $434,390, and that's a big chunk out of that fund, and we've only got now one hotel. We don't have the multitude of hotels like we used to. So to replenish that, like I said, I don't think you can sell enough medals and T-shirts to sustain an employee to come and do it. But I think it's a great idea, and I think we should look into it once we've got more of a grip on the mall.
Yeah, and I think the bidding process, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, has not even begun yet. So I think you requested an estimate. So if, for example, if you said that if the bids came in at 225,000 under, would that be, would that be, what would be the number, that council would think would deem appropriate for something like this?
I'm not going to speak for the other three, but for me, I'd like to see a cost analysis of what you're gonna sell there, how much you're gonna, or what are you gonna pay to staff this, and what our overhead is in that place.
Sure.
I think
the thing is yeah, you're absolutely correct. On the front end, it's a big expense, but let us say that we amortize that over 3 or 5 years. All of a sudden, it doesn't seem like that unreasonable. And by the way, the cost of construction are likely to go up and not go down.
that's with anything nowadays. You blink and everything goes up. I think I've made some pertinent things to think about, and I yield the floor, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman, who had it first? You or, okay, go ahead, Councilman Eversole.
Okay, it's always hard to do a new endeavor. I always say it takes 5 years to start a business. It's shoot, ready, aim. I think what we're doing here is I think having the mayor's office was a major win. And then now we're down the street, it's been like a year or so, and now we're into the next phase. It's like, well, we've had the office sitting here, and now what are we gonna do next? Well, how can we improve the efficiency of this office space? Because even though it's only $1 a year, plus all the expenses for operations, it's still, we're starting to think, we didn't just say, okay, that's what we're going to live with for the rest of our lives. Now it's like, let's take the next step. And I think we don't know how we're going to make all the revenue. I know different cities have different ways they have a center like this in order to greet people. And I think it's a great idea. But I don't know exactly how we're going to fund it. I mean, I think we're trying to do a lot of great ideas at the same time. I think that's why we're feeling we're going through a lot of labor and delivery pains from a city that's trying to redefine itself. We got new software coming in. We've got the dispatch services that are coming up. I mean, we've got a lot of things on that we're just trying to finally get some things up to date today.
No question, Councilman. I would just, again, remind that the source of funds is from the hotel occupancy tax, which has some very serious constraints around where it can be spent. And the other thing is so someone mentioned the Music Fest. There is a cap on how much of that funds can be used towards the arts, for example. We for sure didn't want this to be a burden on the folks that live in Balcones Heights. To get an indication of what that one hotel generates, and the city administrator can keep me honest on this, or Floyd. I think it's roughly about $15,000 a month that gets generated in hotel occupancy tax. These are folks that come in from out of town and pay that hotel occupancy tax. So in a sense, it isn't funds that come directly from the general fund. It is not ad valorem tax. It is not sales tax. It is the specific hotel occupancy tax that is generated by people that come and visit the city.
Okay. Yep.
It's not gonna mess with the Jazz Fest funds and some of the other musical things, events that we have here in the city. It's still, we're gonna still have funds to cover those, right?
If I may, Mr. Ebersol, you only are allowed X amount of percentage of that fund for arts. That's why we could only give X amount to the Jazz Fest every year at a rate of 20%, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It's 15%.
15% of that, say, let's just say of the 15K a month accumulated over a year. So if the account has $200,000 in it, for an example, you can only use 15% of that for the arts combined. So you have to use the other funds and be creative and implement them on other ideas that you can spread that wealth around. And that's what the hotel we have expects us to do. They don't want us just focusing on music and arts. They want us focusing on other things like, for example, the Eat Up. That's going to tailor into some of the eating places and identifying certain places that are people may not have known about, but now Eat Up has brought attention to it. They may want to end up staying over there because of coming to Babes or somewhere else. Even Luby's is a trademark of ours because there aren't many Luby's in the town anymore. So that's why you have to like spread that wealth. And if you're looking at it from the perspective as a council, as a general operating budget, it's not. You're operating off the hot funds. And you have to use those other leftover funds in order to do other things other than just a concert. And that's what we thought was a visitors bureau, because what a visitors bureau does, or a visitor center, it's justified as a critical hub for enhancing tourist experiences, boosting local economies, and protecting natural or cultural heritage. It serves as central information point for maps, safety, and amenities, while utilizing interactive exhibits like we're doing with the hologram to tell a compelling story about our city, thereby increasing visitor engagement, satisfaction, and repeat visits. So the justifications for that is economic impact and promotion, enhanced visitor experience, education and interpretation, site management and protection, community hub. So a well-designed center often includes interactive technologies to create an iconic landmark that draws people to a location. So the whole idea is use the money of the hot funds intended to increase the activity in the hotel we have there, and possibly increase interest in another hotel in the form of economic development, building on other sites that we have available. When they start seeing these things occur, they're going to want to invest and may build another hotel.
Typically, what you would see in something like that, Councilman, is coupons to eat at Dave and Buster's, which would generate sales tax, or other businesses that are in the area that would then benefit from they just kind of wander in because they're visiting because of XYZ festival that weekend, and they say, well, let's go check out the float across the street, or check out the Burlington, or check out one of these other places.
Then you work out deals in closing with like SeaWorld, Yes the Texas, offer discounts where they work with us to provide a certain discount to stay in our hotel instead of San Antonio, and then possibly shuttle them over to the centers of, US to Texas. Then when they want to finish, they want to come eat, we bring them to our places here that we have. Ms. Weaver? See if you can get it, Roy, working, please. See if he can get you working.
There it goes.
He's got it. He has the magic touch. No, since everybody's concerned about the cost and it's a great idea and I'm all for it, can we I make a motion to get more information on the costs and that way we can work it out at the next meeting.
Okay?
I mean, I'll defer to Andrew.
Rodriguez?
Yes,
She's made a motion, so the
Okay.
procedure is we ask for a second motion,
absolutely.
then we'll open it up for further discussion. We have a second to that motion,
I'll
Mr.
second.
Weavers. Councilman Burton is second for that motion. Now let's go ahead and call for further discussion. Go ahead, Mr. Enriquez.
I would just say, Mayor, is we are, we don't have bids yet. So
We're currently in the pre-bid phase. Just need a few more documents to, we're currently in the pre-bid phase and I just need a couple of documents to also get signed, so the plans can get reviewed. But the idea is to get at least 5 bids or, however many bids we can receive, from contractors to get a better estimate on the project. So that'll help us, move along. I would at least project maybe at least another 3 weeks or so to at least start getting bids.
Well, that's just it, you can get the more information on the bids, get it lower for us and more information on what's going to happen because things may change, and then you have your 3 or 4 weeks. We're going to see it next month.
Yeah.
So that way we can take care of it.
Yes.
So is the process of the bidding process costing anything other than the publication of the bids? There's no commitment, right? To the bids or nothing?
No, just other than,
This is what it might cost. Now we have a firmer idea what it's going to cost.
yeah, no, other than probably my fee of helping assist in the or the bidding phase, there's not any other cost unless you spend money to help advertise in the drawings. But no, just send out an email, here's our drawings and, let's receive your bids and through whatever we decide of their like portfolio to receive it, like receiving a resume and, what's their time frame of construction, what's their qualifications, and of course, the cost of it.
Okay. And just to clarify to everybody, there's certain people that have referred to it because misconception sometimes they call it the mayor's office. It's not the mayor's office. It's basically the WODA office. Any city official can hold meetings there, have, access to it. Everybody sitting on this dais has access to that office at any given time. My desk and everything is welcomed for everybody there, or the desk is there, it is designated. The original idea was because I wanted to make more efficiency here at the city administration, I gave up my office here at City Hall. So I don't have an office to meet anybody. I don't have anywhere to have these meetings that very importantly have been occurring to try to transfer this city into where we're currently at, where we made it into a very productive city. And so I have used that particular space to have meetings, even with the partners and things like that. So we utilize a little bit here, but just so everybody understands, that is a civic-oriented facility. It's available to anybody that wants to use it. And so it's actually referred to as the WODA office, annex office. So just to clarify, any problems with moving down with the bidding process or anything, or?
No, just that, I guess when we finish here, we can sign a few documents and
Okay.
keep moving forward with it.
Mr. Hernandez has a couple of questions here.
I have some comments and then a question. We like to travel to Fredericksburg quite a bit, Fredericksburg, Texas, and they have a beautiful visitor center there, which is staffed by volunteers, by the way. And this visitor center, I'm going to say is like the hub or the key to redirecting that traffic to some key locations within the city. And I've often thought that this is what we need. So I'm totally behind it. you know, before I ask my question, I just want to tell my fellow councilmen that we're here, we're making progress. We don't need to pump the brakes. Let's move forward. We have funds sitting in the hot fund rather than, making a motion to, get more information. We could make a motion, modify, make a motion to limit the expense. Maybe it's 250,000, maybe it's 300,000, and then let, EDC work that out. But, I'm all behind it. We need to progress. I mean, if you think now people walk through the mall, especially on the weekend, and then they see the office there, myself personally, I'm kind of embarrassed of it, right? And if the mayor is taking business meetings there, how much better would it be to have a much better appearance visually for these people coming in? We're trying to negotiate contracts and negotiate better resources for our city, and we're trying to pump the brakes here. So I'm not in agreement with that. I think we should move forward with this. But, he said 240 to 300 something, why don't we just put a number on it? We'll say 250, 275 and get it done. That's my comment. My last thing, I have a question. How long of a lease do we have before we put money in this?
That is something also we can negotiate as well. If the council deems it and makes that a condition as well, like we need to extend it for 5 years or 3 years or whatever, we can certainly do that. Right now, it's a year, to answer your question directly. But we've already discussed it with management, and they're very amenable to extending it to whatever needs to happen in order to amortize out the improvements.
I just
Well,
want
Mr. Eversole,
to
ahead.
respond.
Yes, correct.
Naturally, we're going to go through the bidding phase, but part of the bid instructions, we can add an amount to where you say, this is the cap for construction. And then let's, hypothetically speaking, the construction does come back higher than what is the amount. We can value engineer the drawings and take out, what's necessary to bring the cost back down, just to ease up on cost, because I know it's a huge topic.
Mr. Eversole?
So we're talking about it's gonna come out of the hot funds. Do we always spend all the hot funds? Like, I know we spend the 20%,
15%.
15% on the music stuff, but do we always spend the rest of it, or is it just?
No, historically, it's just been sitting there.
That's what I'm saying.
So it
That's what
hasn't been
that's
used
why I'm,
for,
if it's just
what
sitting there
we
going to
could use
waste.
for, so you can promote your city, and most cities have a visitor center. Mr. Hernandez, did you yield the floor, Mr. Eversole? Okay, Mr. Hernandez, you had a further comment?
I was going to ask, what say you? Do you want to amend the motion or stick with the one we currently have?
Okay. So, how would you like to amend your motion, Ms. Weaver? Okay. All right. So then let's go ahead and continue with one more discussion, and then we will see what the amendment will be. Take that vote on, and then we'll go back to the original vote.
I would like to ask, are we still doing the Hispanic trails?
Yeah, all of the events
'Cause you-
continue. They're budgeted for, and they're continuing as proceeded in the past. So the Hispanic Trails is only, I think, $6,000. So if you want to bring that down a little bit, you can, but if you want to keep it, I mean, but it still
Would like to
continues.
keep it.
The only difference is I think you guys are considering moving from a jazz fest to a music fest, which Ms. Hernandez will bring up later when we discuss it, as it's on the agenda for that. Anyone else, any other comments? Ms. Weaver?
I think, well, he asked me about amending my motion. I'll go ahead and amend my motion to the stating the limit that we have
Okay,
instead of waiting another month.
so it gives it a starting point, and the bids can come in with no commitment, and then y'all can make a decision if you want to move forward from there. Correct?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so then, Mr. Hernandez, would you be amenable to amending that to that language? You want to structure it that way?
250? Well, I'd like to amend the motion to approve moving forward with the remodel, limiting the construction cost to 250,000.
Okay, with a limit of 250. Okay,
I second it.
all right. We have a second by Ms. Weaver. Any further discussions on this particular agenda item? Okay, call the vote. Go ahead.
Even though the estimate came in at 240, there was also the contractor, which is a good thing, added about 35,000 for contingency. I do recommend that, you know, the city does have a contingency during construction, even though it's 250, you only gave yourself 10,000 for contingency. And so I know it's a tight squeeze, but just to keep it's the budget for the city. So just want to keep that in mind.
Let's just keep that contractor in line. If he wants the job, he'll get it done at 250.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so it remains same, Councilman Hernandez? Okay, so he'll continue to remain at 250. We've called the vote. We have a second by Ms. Weaver. Now we will take that vote and then we'll go back to the first vote after that, correct? Okay, so let's go ahead and call the vote for the amendment to go ahead and move forward with the bidding with a cap of 250,000 conveyed to the bidders.
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Nay.
nays?
Nay.
Okay, we have one nay. The motion carries 3 to 1 nay. And one vote. All right, now we will go back on the original vote. So all in favor? You're pretty much going to wipe that vote out if that's what you want to do. So your motion would be that, what, Ms. Ravina, what language could we use? Just to,
Well, actually, the motion then is that you're voting on the motion as amended.
okay, so we will now have a motion on the table as amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Okay, Mr. Burton is nay on the record. Motion carries 3 with 1 nay and 1 absent vote. Okay, the motion is carried. Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing back with you on the bidding.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I do want to,
Thank you, council members, for making that very.
just want to
easy
add for
process
anyone
to
who
go through.
wants to see it in 3D or virtual walkthrough.
Yeah, do you have it available to put up right now?
Oh, you put it on yourself.
Oh, okay.
This would have to
Maybe
be done
afterwards.
after, yeah.
After somebody
You can actually walk through this.
look at what it's gonna look like when you walk into the
Oh,
place. It'll have a 3D of the soldiers marching. Like back in the World War II days, they used to come up and down. Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's another thing, but this is to walk through the whole model space.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Benavides. Thank you, staff, and thank you, council. All right, let's go ahead and move with, now we were on 12. We're going to go back to item number 8. Now, does anyone want to take a quick break, bathroom break? All right, the time is right now 8:02. We're going to take a quick little break so that everybody can go to the restroom, get something to drink, and then we'll come right back. Time is 8:10 p.m. We have now resumed from our small little break and we will resume city business of the agenda. So I'm going to move the item real quickly up for about no more than 10 minutes, in which we're going to move the item number 15 so that the students are the presenters of the Mayor's Scholarship Initiative and Food Truck Amenities Events at the Park, Mr. David Vela and Mr. Johnny Rodriguez III. Go ahead and approach the podium and make your presentation.
Oh, yeah. Bum, bada, bum, bum. Okay, there we go.
Just introduce yourself again, Mr. Vela, and where
Yes.
you're at and what you do.
My name is David Vela, PhD candidate at UTSA, current alumni of Thomas Jefferson, teacher at Thomas Jefferson, husband who's late to dinner. Many things. I'm a man with many hats. Just recently, if you didn't see the news, fencing coach at Thomas Jefferson. So I'm a man with many hats. And I come to you today, just an update on what I was talking about last time, the several projects. And, you know, a dog park isn't there in about a month, I'll tell you that. But I tackled 2 of the easiest items I can get done, just so you see that something has gotten done. And I want to open with, first and foremost, before you commit to any marketing ventures, right? I'm scared of spiders. I'm scared of heights. From what I'm hearing, you might be scared of money if you're going to throw it at a marketing place. First and foremost, use Sweatwork. Use me. I love this city. If I'm doing it pro bono for free, I can make Canva ads. I market for my school. You don't need $6,500. I will do it. I don't mind. You tell me the hours. You tell me what to do. Mr. Martinez is super capable. You know, all the projects he did last year with a 3-man team, we could easily do one of the items here, which is food truck vending, and you'll see what progress made there. What I want to get to as well, if you don't read the headlines, Corpus is down to 9% water. Right? That's a grim fact. It's alarming, but that shows and is a testament to the rate of growth in the cities in Texas. People are coming here and they're coming fast. They are moving here, and we need to capture their eyes. These new affluent residents to move here. And how do we do that? Well, I started cold calling local businesses for this mayor scholarship, council scholarship, whatever you want to call it, an incentive for living in the city, right? To show that you're investing in the youth. You believe in the youth, getting them proactive in community service. To the gentleman that was here who does community service, we want that in the youth. We want to keep that into a cycle, right? I lead a male youth group at Jefferson, 40 boys strong, and they ask me every week, what can we do? I love that energy. And a lot of them live here in the apartments. And so why not give back to students and incentivize that good nature, that giving back nature? With some caveats, right? So an update, I didn't provide it here, but you'll see it on the launch trigger. So far, I have cold called and gathered about $1,700 from local businesses that have promised what they'd be able to offer. So like Babes, Brevity, Chick-fil-A, their manager said they'll talk to their marketing department, and they approved. There's a certain limit they have every year, and just write off. My ask for you today is, and I talked to Mr. Rodriguez about this last time, I would need some sort of like signature from you all, or like, hey, this man is working with us. Sort of like this isn't just some guy robbing money, right? They need proof that I'm trying to help you all, and that there's something you approve of. And I have already 1,700 in about 2 weeks. And there's a list of businesses I have yet to call, but that shows that this community wants to give back to the students. And I explained to them the process, and I'll explain to you now again. My ideas on this process is there'll be a 3-tier way to get into this scholarship. Students would, one, they'd have to go through and do community service. You can set an hour limit, right? So set like 100 hours, 50 hours, 10 hours, whatever y'all want, y'all decide that. Then they do an interview process, and then you include the local businesses in on that interview, so they have a stake. They see the students. They look at them face to face, and they say, this is where my money's going. This is the investment. They get the personality and the character of the student. I think that's important. And then lastly, you do like an essay type. And I put little stars there because I'm open to like, well, this is y'all and improving. So you could always amend, change it up, fix, pivot, whatever you wanted to do. I just think 3 tiers is a good filter to find students and candidates in this area that really want this, right? And again, my goal here, it says 5,000 to 7,500. That can be for multiple students. These students go bonkers for 500. It's insane that they will, I think there was a scholarship for $100, and they went to 3 Saturday tutoring sessions. They're Saturdays as teenagers. So if you offer 500, 800, and this goes to multiple Balcones Heights young students, they would go just crazy for this. And so I guess on my part for this, I just want to know where you want to go with this. If I could get a letter of consent, or that I am working on your behalf to collect these funds or these promises, and then whoever runs financials here, it could go to them. Contact so-and-so. I'm just the messenger, right? And if y'all could establish a fund or like a savings or whatever account you could for this, and this would not come from the city at all. This is just from me cold calling and collecting from local businesses. And again, I have not finished yet. This is just what I've done in the past 3 weeks. So this is my portion. If any questions on this scholarship?
May I be recognized?
Yes, go right ahead, Mr.
City, my question is for council. Do we need to have a, nonprofit set up for this, or how can we make this happen?
So my recommendation here is you don't have to set up anything separate and apart from the city, but I would recommend that this be set up at, and established as a restricted fund, right? So that the funds that come in for that go to that and can only spend for that.
Okay. That makes sense. And right now, you've recommends one fund reaches 5,000, you officially trigger the process building stage. And then you're ensured that by that time, we hit your ultimate 7,500 that you originally came with to raise. And then the administrative framework is ready to accept the first class of applicants.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. And again, to advertise for this, I could go into Canva. It's an online app, make some flyers. That takes no more than $10. I get free for UTSA printing and for teacher printing. I wouldn't mind helping the city out. And you have tons of young adults in these apartments and these homes over here. And if their parents see that you're investing in their kids, that says something about a city. People talk.
And I think, Roy, we can help with the sign and socializing it on our website and all that. So perhaps y'all can work together.
I was also gonna add, when you're creating these items, if you wanna, get in contact with me so I can give you our branding sheet with the colors and, I'm very picky about that.
Yes,
Just- Joe was like, does my presentation look good? I'm like, yes, but change the colors to blue, right? Just so that way we can stay on brand with logos and, starting to create that, visual identity and, they see us and they know it's us.
No, I completely agree. And to your point at the bottom, I also, to get foot traffic to the website, I believe there should be an applicant portal side or like a Google form that's embedded into the website. So parents have to go, students have to visit the website and see the brand and see the work y'all done and see the updates. That puts them there. Oh, how does my kid do this? Go to our website. There's a Google form you fill out. Boom. Oh, what else is there? Right? Any other questions?
More traffic to our site as well.
Yes.
Okay. Good. And then when, Mr. Hernandez?
So the checks would be payable to the city of Balcones Heights?
Yes.
Okay.
And a restricted fund. Yes,
Sure.
ma'am. Ms.
Just, I would like to ask one thing or two. For us to have an action item creating the mayor's scholarship fund, because
Okay.
right now it has not been approved by the council.
Correct?
And then we also need to have another action item creating the food truck event that is here on this action item.
Okay. And that will be when? We could do
Is there
that.
presentation?
We could do that tonight or no?
Yeah, we can do that tonight because it's under action.
So let's go ahead and facilitate that for council because that gives them the ability to go out and do what they're needing to finish up on to help us. And they're not asking for us any money. They're making money for us. They're creating the fund for us. The two would be then, which one, Maria?
For the food truck event that they're planning,
Okay. All right. All right. And so that with this, Mr. David, the proposed selection process, you've got that already written out to where they complete a set number of service hours within the Balcones Heights city limits or the immediate metro area to foster a service first mentality, directly improve our local parks and community center with youth engagement in our city.
Yes. Yes,
And then
Mayor.
the Vision City for essay, a written submission where students describe how they see Balcones Heights evolving as a central hub and what role they play in its future. The objective is to gauge students' academic communication skills and their alignment with the city's strategic development goals.
Yes, and this is a tiered system. Again, as a teacher from a teacher mindset, some people can be good at interviews, but if our businesses are investing in their future, you want to make sure you also have an academic student, right? And they're not dropping out the next year, or they can write, or they can do stuff. So by doing community service, there's a character. By giving the essay, you show academics. By doing the interview, we again see the character of the student face to face.
Okay, and then the last, they're going to do a panel interview, which I like the fact that it will be a committee composed of city staff and at least one contributing business partner. So they'll have to come before you and basically stipulate as to why they feel they deserve this scholarship after they met all the other criterias. Good. That's a
Exactly.
very, very good selection process because it feels out your top tier students that really deserve these type of scholarships
So
and award.
the two things, again, would just be letter of consent or some sort of proof that I'm helping you all. And then two, I don't know where you want to sit with this, but how many students you would like for this to be dispersed with, starting off with? I could throw a
Do you
number.
have an idea of recommendation that we should start with?
I mean, again, $500 for a student, you'd be able to get at 5,000, right? That's a good amount, but giving $1,000 to 5 students, that's a laptop. That's books for college. That's a good amount. That's food. That's a food card. That's parking permit. I say 5 students, that's still a lot from going from 0 to 5 students at $1,000 each.
Okay. I think that's a good recommendation personally. I don't know how the council feels, but I think it's good. I think we should give them incentive. I mean, Mr. Trevino, you went to college and you should know
It
what the
would,
process
it,
is.
and, Mayor and Council, the only caveat I'm going to have on this is that whatever motion y'all make, we really need to track this very carefully. So at the next meeting, we would have this documented in resolutions to ratify the action that you're taking tonight.
Okay, absolutely. Whatever it takes. Mr. Burton? You have a question? from-
I think it's amazing
Mr.
that
Dillon?
you cold called in 2 weeks and got that amount of money. That's just,
My wife says I'm a machine. My mother called me an unruly boy. So that's, it's all I do is know is stay up and do things.
I think this is just off the charts. I support it 1,000%. And I'd like to go ahead and make the motion
For the two items?
it would be the initiative,
Okay.
to approve the
Can we
initiative.
wait, Mr.
and the-
Burton, until
Oh,
Mr. Rodriguez comes up and presents the trailer, so you have both motions you can make at the same time?
I'll rescind my
Okay,
motion.
this
Oh,
way
yeah.
you get the full presentation.
mine's the nerdy part. Here's the good part. Here's where we get the stomachs grumbling.
Let's move into that so that we can move on to the next items.
Ready? Good afternoon, everyone. So with our, for an update for the food trucks, we've curated a list of 9 trucks that we've reached out to already that have shown interest in, have this project that we're wanting to do of having trucks starting to come to the city. So we can start increasing our foot traffic. We can increase our digital footprint as well on social medias. And we can start trying to fill the vacuum that we have of not having an identity and not really having anything that fully will bring more people into the city. So on your packets that we've given you, we have that list. And as you've seen that we have different varieties of food, we realize that we have different backgrounds, different ethnic backgrounds, different types of people in the city. And so we want to try to include everybody in it and give everybody a chance to maybe experience a new taste palette of food or something that they're familiar with and their favorite food, they can have a chance at it. And so our idea is kind of to have those trucks cycling in and out and have like a steady list though, so they can have an expecting, okay, on this day, we're going to have this type of food, this type of thing ready. So that's that. On your packets, you also have the average prices for those food trucks, as well as their contact information. Some of these food trucks also do citywide events. So that's another thing that we can look at of having catering done for the city at different events. One that comes to mind was the recent Valentine's Day event. So that way we can not only just have pizza and cookies all the time, which while is great, we all love it. Having some variety, I think, would also have the potential to draw in more citizens and also people from outside the city. Apart from that, one truck that I wanted to put out was Taste of the Boot. It's a New Orleans styled food truck. They're off of Petranco, and that just kind of shows the idea of how they're high visibility. And that's something that we can implement here with the different trucks. We also have on here listed the lobster food truck as well as the shaved ice. Those are different. They have different events. So like they have premium slider options for like the lobster rolls and all that, as well as the like shaved ice of the month, the flavor. So it's always something different that can be happening. But all of these at the end of the day align with trying to increase foot traffic, sales tax, and all of those great things that we've been talking about tonight and at past meetings. So on your next list that we have, the candidate priority list, these are food trucks and entities that we're on our watch list already to reach out to further, curating a list. We also have that same information for their pricing as well as the type of food that it is. But going along with this, we're also going to need a, I guess similar to the scholarship where we can show that, hey, this is city backed and it's an actual event. And furthermore, we need logistical things worked out. So as far as like, where exactly would y'all like to have the food trucks? Would here in the front of City Hall or at the park, or eventually, if with different spaces, wherever that's at. But we want that to be up to the city council. So wherever y'all would prefer it be at, we don't want to step over toes in anything. We'd also need to know how often we'd like the food trucks rolling in and around the time frame, like during the day that we would like them to be here. So, but again, we want to leave that up to city council to decide, so that way we're not just making decisions and stepping over toes and giving you a voice in the say of what goes on and when. So we have that. Then all of this is going to curate into, or culminate, I should say, into this idea of like a food truck festival. And so that's where I go back into that idea of we're going to trying to give Balcones Heights if you think of Windcrest, what do you think of Windcrest? You have their Christmas lights, all their shows and everything they have there. Trying to give Balcones Heights that same type of energy, that we hear Balcones Heights, we can become a food hub potentially for that and have those different trucks cycling in and out. Along with that, it'll increase the sales tax as well as different, how do we say it, heads and beds. So for that hotel tax as well. So it's just bringing more foot traffic again. Also, this would be great for the residents here that we have. Everybody gets to have a different experience, try different things, expand their palettes, and bring in more people. And yeah, so some ideas that we have potentially would be for the Wonderland of America's Mall and Dave & Buster's. There's those huge parking lots, just plenty of space that's free within the city that we could potentially use and have that be the location for this. So that way we're not taking up anything crazy, but we have it already. And then again, with the food trucks, we also can have like a premium line. We have the lobsters and all that stuff. We can have different food trucks like that. We can have a row that's just desserts, you know, churros, ice cream, shaved. We can have all that kind of stuff. So those are just some different ideas for that. Having musical talent, we can have local artists come out and have a stage for them to perform and have an audience. And along with all this stuff, the more time that people spend at this kind of event, the more likely they are to wander into the city. And, you know, we're talking about a welcome center. That would be a perfect way to have people come into that welcome center, is just keeping them within city limits. Then once they're here, to say, okay, what else does the city offer? What else is there to do? What can we see? So all those kind of great ideas. But yeah, that's what we got for the food trucks. Do you have anything to add?
Yes, well, real quick before you add, just to reiterate, we would start with a crawl because I don't believe in overeating. You overeat and then you throw up, right? You get excited. So we don't gorge on it. We start with selective food trucks to anchor. You don't want to bring in a lot of new ones because people like feeling regular, right? People love seeing the same families and the same food trucks and the same citizens. You get a sense of like, what's his name from Cheers, the main character, right? You go to the same bar for a reason. So you want to have, that's why I have 9. We could have had more. Johnny did an amazing job cold calling on Instagram, on Facebook. Mr. Martinez is correct. Most people these days are on social media. You can't call these places. And so he had to work through that. So we got 9, right? I think it's a good amount for a month. We want to know how long. Would y'all want it on weekends? Would y'all like it on the weekdays? Once a month? Bi-weekly? We want sort of logistics. If you could provide it in an email at another date, just don't take up much of your time. And then from this, after a month or two, to sort of gain that authentic identity of a food hub. Because if you just do a food festival, anyone can do that, right? That just, it's like, oh, they're trying to do this. But if you walk with food trucks, oh, they have them here. Look, this is consistent. And then you build to a food festival, right? With logistics, measures, safety, all this, and find a place that shows authentic growth and a brand identity. I'm not going to go and, you know, get a wig and call myself Ryan Gosling. I'm not, right? I had to make slow growth. I got to do all the work for it. So we're proposing slow growth with the scholarship and the slow growth with the food trucks. We just need the go-to and we can go wild. This is us being safe. This is us like on slow mode. It's going 10 miles per hour.
Oh, also one last thing to add. So on that list, that was the candidate priority list. That is something that, if you notice on the left side, the selection, it's got some brackets. That's for y'all to look through if you'd like, take some time, look at their social medias. You can look them up online, get a better feel for those trucks. And then we'd like for y'all to make a selection on the ones that you prefer. And so that way we can better select and be more selective of the trucks that we have, so that we have that council actually wants to be here and not so much just the random picking for, we can be more more tailored to what city council would like to see.
Mr.
Mayor. So I have a suggestion, okay? If you're gonna ask us to give you all the fine little details, we're gonna be up here all night. You're never gonna get a decision, okay? We're here to make policy, not to run the daily, right? So my recommendation to you guys is, you're gonna have to put a more, I'm gonna say specific plan. We can give you some recommendations. I'll give you one recommendation real quick. Up here on the corner next to Luby's, that big empty lot that used to be Lax, that's very visible. We can start with a few there, but obviously we'd have to reach out to the current owner, see if they're willing to lease that out. I'm sure they will because, it's been empty for many years. They're not making any money on it. So that might be a start for them. But the other thing I would recommend is like, maybe you guys should just go ahead and form like, let's say a promoter kind of company, right? Similar to what's across the street at Wonderland Mall. There's a gentleman there that he's pretty much promoting all the events, right? So you guys could be that promoter. You can come to us and, lay it out a little bit more specific on what the details are so we can move on it. Now, maybe you are getting into this without, wanting to make money. So you can be the promoter. You can charge these, food trucks, like a fee to attend or whatever, and then just donate that to the scholarship fund, right? So, I mean, that's just a couple of ideas for me, but I'm behind it. I support the program. I will say this too, you haven't reached out to me for donation, so reach out to me for the scholarship fund. I'll help you with that as well.
I'll hold you to that.
So,
Yes, sir. And then also, that was part of the idea to get some of those funds for the scholarship from some of the sales from the festival. So that was to help fund that
good.
to coexist.
And we got to make sure, I will say this, we got to make sure that those food trucks are collecting sales tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so.
Okay, great. Jack?
Build it and they will come, right?
Yeah.
So I think Jimmy's idea of the jury property is if they'll bite it. If not, I've seen some events on the side of Hobby Lobby where they've had a stage like in back of Denny's for live music, and then all along that wall. And I think the parking, you have underground parking there that they can walk right over to the event instead of impeding the back parking lot. And I think your weekends are going to be your cash grabbers, that's where and it's visible. It's visible from Crossroads, the street between the mall and Gold's Gym. It's a big visibility factor. And they go, hey, what's going on over there? And go hit it. But I think this is a great initiative and great. I'm a Jefferson alumni, so
Nice.
I totally support this in 100%. So
Thank you. And to hear and to ease all, right? I mean, this is to help the HOT funds because it's as much of goth stuff I love. We all know that Crossroads is primarily there for like goth alternative stuff on the weekends. I want to provide multifaceted events. When I was a kid here, they used to have car shows. I know because my friend's dad, Mr. Goldberg, down the street, he used to attend them, and it was super cool to see them. I just want to make sure that each person in the community gets their chance for their niche, their hobby, and we have plenty of foodies because we all eat food. So.
before I yield,
Yes.
have you reached out to any of the Balcones restaurants or anything? Not necessarily a food truck, but a food tent that they could set up or whatever, freestanding, and do their genre of food.
Yes, I was looking into going to well, first off, the catering right here. I used to walk by the store. I just saw it the other day, Babes, and then I even wanted to dip in to see how the what is it called, the cottage industries. Chavano Park does a lot of the homemade cottage local business owners, the people that pop up and sell their popcorn and their cookies to get the actual members, not just businesses, but members out there and involved.
I've got a suggestion for Thai, so, or no, excuse me, Philippine. So we can get some of the rolls and the noodle thing,
Okay.
and they do set up at
Let's-
Windcrest and stuff.
Let's roll on now. If you're okay with it, we'll
Well,
move on to
I was
Mr.
speaking.
Eversole.
I was speaking.
Okay.
They set up over at Windcrest, and they do a really good food initiative there too. I yield.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Eversole?
Gonna
so
say,
we can move quickly.
we have an event, or Roy is our event person. It'd be good if you guys would work together, just like the things at the park. It would be, even if we don't put 5 food trucks there, 1 or 2 or 3, one is better than none. And that way our businesses don't always have to finance every, like Chick-fil-A has been making donations, or we've always been cooking hamburgers. But I mean, this may be an alternative to work with Roy. And then also, I mean, you could ask them to charge 25 cents extra on the dollar for hamburger, something like that, and then donate it for the scholarship fund or have an entry fee, because I think at the end of the day, you guys are gonna have to do all this stuff. I think you get paid something for the scholarships, and the students are gonna be working, because they're probably gonna be volunteering their time as well for the event to make sure it's cleaned up afterwards and set up properly. They could see it as an event to earn their scholarship funds too.
Great.
And that way people would probably
Thank you,
contribute
Mr.
more.
Eversol. Roy, you had a comment real quick?
Yes,
Before
Mayor.
we move further.
I would like to add to Councilman Eversol and Hernandez. This might align more in like the city administration side, right? Just like Councilman Hernandez mentioned, they just set the policy, and we, as in, the city administration, we run the city. I'd be more than happy to, work with you guys to get this done. More like in an oversight and, of course, boots on the ground day of, and, in other, organizational. You might also, I can also help you facilitate talks with the mall, right? If I think that's would be a better location, maybe, by the right at what is it, Hillcrest, and right here Fredericksburg, right by the Five Below WSS area, very high visibility. So we're gonna, I think this is gonna land more on our side, but more than happy to work with you guys.
That sounds great.
Great, okay. So let's go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to do 2 things. Pursuant to our council's recommendation, we need an action item to go ahead and take action to create the mayor's initiative fund. And second, we need a action item simultaneously to approve the food truck event. And then we need a letter of representation drafted by by our counselor that would limit any liability exposure, and then you can work together with them and we'll get the ball rolling. Do I have a motion on the floor from any council members to do that?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to have the city create a scholarship fund, but rather than name it the mayor, I'd rather it be the City of Balcones Heights Scholarship Fund,
Okay,
because I think it would be easier to generate revenue or donations for the City of Balcones Heights.
whatever it takes.
So-
It was an initiated idea that I came up with.
Well,
And that's why I called it.
You were the
mayor's-
one you would deliver the check, I'm sure.
Well, no, but I was the
Yeah.
one that created the idea of
Sure.
doing the scholarship fund. That's why I called it the mayor's. But it doesn't make a difference to me how it gets cooked, when it gets cooked, as long as it gets cooked.
There you go.
If it Gets done for the benefit of our community. I could care less what the name it is.
And then I
Just
think
wanted to clarify that.
I'd like to continue with the motion to make it available to one to 5 students. And then depending on the total amount that we have, then we can determine what the exact number would be. So rather than finding that today, make it 1 to 5, but that would be my motion.
Okay. And for both motions, correct, with the letter of representation. Do we have a second to that motion? Ms. Weaver, we can take you in a minute to discussion right after I take the second motion. So do we have a second? Okay, you have a second from Ms. Weaver?
Second motion.
Okay, the sub-motion's been noted. Now we can go ahead and take your discussion real quick. You have anything you wanted to say?
I just wanted to let you know, I think Wonderland's a good location because it has the parking there. It's got, it's good walking, Luby's is sort of on a corner surrounded by rocks, and you really can't designate where the trucks will be, where the parking will be, where people will walk up there. And I think the Wonderland is a good idea, but if you can get that done. And it's a good idea. I really do. I like it.
Okay, great. Thanks for your input. So we have a second. Let's call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any
Aye.
nays? No nays on the record, so 4-0, 1 missing absence. Mr. Sellers. Motion carries. Congratulations, gentlemen. You can move forward to your second phase.
Thank you all so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you
very
for
much.
spending the time to do this. All right, now let's go ahead and move really quickly through these. So we have eliminated now the item of number 15. We took care of that. So let's go now to item number 8.
Excuse me, Mayor?
Yes.
The-
Yeah, that was included on the whole motion. Both of them were.
I just wanted to be sure.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, item number 8, the council will hold a public hearing to receive public comments on amending City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 153, zoning codes, Article 3, zoning districts and use regulations, amending side step backs, front step backs, and rear step backs in the R1, R2, R3, R4, R6, O1, O2, C1, C2, M1, and M2 zoning districts. Let's try to move through this very quickly, council, if we can, and not spend too much time on it. All right, open it up for discussion, or how would you like to, anyone has a motion that I would
Mayor,
like to
might be
entertain?
recognized.
Yes, ma'am.
Nick is gonna come and present these items.
Okay. Mr. Ibarque, go right ahead, sir. Ibarque?
Ibargüe.
Ibarque.
Yeah.
I'll get it one day.
No, no worries, no worries.
Get it, I bet Ibarque.
Can you put up the one excluding MXT district, please? I'll try to get through it as quickly as I can
Yeah,
here.
thank you, Nick, appreciate it.
Show the second attachment. Show both attachments. Yeah, try that one. Yes, please. Okay, just to give a little background, we had a public hearing with planning and zoning to amend our setbacks for all the previously said zoning districts. This is going to exclude M3, R5, and MXD districts. M3 is more of a cell tower district. It's not something that's utilized very much. And R5 is townhomes. Those setbacks are already very lenient with a 0 setback on the side. So those aren't ones that we're touching right now. This is mainly just aimed at commercial and residential. Scroll down, please. So quickly through the background, we received a lot of questions from either residents or business owners about being able to utilize their space a little bit better. So the topic was presented to P&Z a few times now, I believe in November, December, and this month to see what setbacks we would like to amend here. Scroll down, please. Here's our current setbacks. Front setbacks, you'll notice a lot of them are, I can't read that small. 30 in residential districts, 20 in a lot of commercial districts, and R6, which is going to be your multifamily. Side setbacks are 10 in the lower end residential, or the lower density residential is what I meant to say. Higher density residential R4, R6 is 20 feet, and then we got 10 feet in a lot of commercial areas. Those rear setbacks are set pretty high, 25 to 30 feet, just depending on where we're at. Scroll down, please. So planning and zoning came up with these numbers for our amended setbacks. You'll see that this allows a lot more land use out of most of the properties here. The only ones that we're not going to be changing is rear setbacks for R1, R2, R3, R4. That's just to be a little bit neighborly, make sure that, you know, anybody in those residential districts aren't closing in up to that fence and disturbing neighbors, right? But 5-foot side setbacks for residential areas is already pretty common in San Antonio. We'll change it to a 25-foot front setback. I think that this is going to help a little bit development on our infill properties. Those properties that we've already had Board of Adjustments meetings for, you know, the areas are pretty tight. So we want to make sure that we're able to present a setback that developers can purchase and start to build a property quickly without having to jump through hurdles here. Commercial will have the most changes here, O1 through M2. So those front setbacks are going to move from 20 feet to 5 feet. O1 through C2 is going to move from 20 feet to 5 feet, and M1, M2 also 5 feet. And then you'll see O1 through M2 on rear setbacks moving from 25 to 5 feet. Again, this is just better land utilization. There's other areas that this is kind of going to affect, but I preface Planning and Zoning Commission that we're going to touch those items as we go along here. Open spaces, making sure that we're creating enough parking, making sure that we're not disturbing your tenants or your neighbors there once you start closing in, right? But this is really just to set the framework. This isn't going to take effect for any properties right now, right? It's just once you see that redevelopment. But once that foundation is set, you'll see these redevelopment, and then you'll see these much more lenient setbacks take effect here. Next slide, please. Quickly, fire hazards. I talked to Thomas here. We don't have any fire hazard concern with 5-foot side setbacks. That'll allow 10 feet between buildings. Everything should be accessible. I believe I talked to Roger as well at some point over the past 3 months. Again, Nelms, if you want to jump in here, but there shouldn't be any concern with accessibility going between buildings there, correct? Great. Next one, please. Just quickly to go over benefits of smaller setbacks, again, maximizing land use density. Let's see, we're enhancing design and flexibility, improving community livability. This creates a more walkable, accessible community, creates to more vibrant streetscapes, right? You're not going to be walking from one address to the next address and have, 50, 60 feet between space, right? You're going to see those storefronts become much more apparent, and you can access a lot more stores quickly. And it invites more walking from commercial area to commercial area. Just to outline what we're supporting in City Plan 2040, land use strategy, housing strategy, infill redevelopment, and infill redevelopment strategy. 2 different infill redevelopments, sorry. So creating mixed use, walkable, amenity rich transit served communities, and then coordinating and connecting land use. I know I went pretty quickly here. Any questions? Because we also have a MXD after this.
Go ahead, Mr. Byrd.
On the proposed setbacks on C2, M1, M2, is that 51 or 5-foot one?
That's a 5 feet side setback. The one is a note. You'll see it at the bottom there. Note 1 is where a light industrial, manufacturing, or retail use is in a C2, M1, or M2 district abuts a residential use. The side yard shall be 20 feet from the side property. Again, this is just being neighborly, making sure that if we have those high industrial uses, high commercial uses, we're creating still a bigger setback to not disturb residents, but there's nowhere in the city where this is currently present.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I'm sorry? Yeah, if you just ask. Yeah, so we have to open up the meeting. We opened it up in this process now. We have to, any other questions you have for him before we close the meeting out? It's a public hearing that we're having. Any other questions for Mr. Nick? Let me just make sure I don't pronounce it again, mispronounce it. Nick, any other questions for Nick? Okay, then the time right now is 8:50 p.m. We will now close this public hearing. Okay. And now we will have discussion and actions, possible action amending the city code of 153, zoning codes article 3, districts and use regulations amending side setbacks, front setbacks and rear setbacks in the R1, R2, R3, R4, R6, O1, O2, C1, C2, M1, and M2 zoning districts. So this is where we take action on this item. So now, Mr. Ebersol, if you'd like to be recognized, you can move with your motion, sir. Yeah, no, now you're on item number 9, taking action on line number 8.
Okay.
On the proposed hearing that we did in public.
So I make a motion that we accept, as stated, item number 8 on the agenda and for the zoning.
Okay, so you move to approve item number 9, which is the same as item number 8.
Right.
Correct? Okay, so noted. We have a second to that motion.
A second.
Okay, Councilman Hernandez has seconded that motion, and I'll call for any further discussion. Any questions for Mr. Ibarque? Nick, any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? No nays noted. Motion carries 4-0 with one absent vote. Okay, let's move on down to item number 10. The council will hold a public hearing to receive public comments on amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 153, zoning codes, Article 4, design and form standards, amending side stepbacks, front stepbacks, and rear setbacks in the MXD zoning districts. The time is 8:52 PM. We'll open it up for a public hearing. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so we have the same background here, so I won't read that. Scroll down, please. Again, we had a couple meetings with B and Z to adjust our setbacks. Okay. One more, please. So here's going to be our proposed setbacks. Intersection areas and non-intersection areas are going to be different for MXD districts. So we're looking at amending from a 25-foot setback to a 20-foot setback on the front, minimum 5-foot setback. 5 foot on the front, 20 on the, let's see, rear here. Let's see. I'm sorry. It's 20-foot maximum and a 5-foot minimum setback on the front property. There shall be no maximum setback from the side property lines, so it can go all the way to abutting the property, and then a minimum rear setback of 5 feet from 25 feet. Non-intersection areas located on the property, those will change from 62 to 20 feet on the front of the property line. There shall be a maximum setback of 15 feet from side property lines and a minimum of 5 feet required. There is a little bit of language added. The strike-throughs are going to be the amendments that we're proposing here. We scroll down a little bit. Again, no fire hazards. Thomas can jump in if he does address one here or find one. Keep going, please. Keep going. Just to present a picture, paint a picture here for MXD districts, right? It's more of our commercial areas. It's more of our visible areas. This is Fredericksburg, Crossroads, North Crossroads. These more lenient setbacks, this is the picture that we want, right? We want to be able to have the front of the property much closer to the city right away, right? Scroll down one more, please. Scroll down. We want to avoid this. This is one of the properties within the city. This is where Golden Corinne is, Central Finance, Planet Fitness, right? I believe that that first front face of the property, that's 200 feet from the city right away. And then for Planet Fitness, you're still going another 100, 200 feet back. It's not a very walkable area, right? We have a bus stop there. You have sidewalk. A lot of people frequently walk or use different modes of transportation along Fredericksburg Road. We want to be able to tackle this. And once redevelopment starts to come in, you start seeing these properties start to move up and make it a much easier, more accessible commercial area. And then that should be our last slide. Again, it was just painting a picture, but those are the setbacks we're proposing. A lot of these strategies are also from the previous presentation are the same.
Any questions? Nick, you need to keep going?
No.
Okay, any questions for Nick on this? All right, we will entertain a motion to, yeah, we're going to close it up again. So we're going to close it at 8:56 PM. We'll close the public hearing, and now we will move into another item, which will be action item number 11. So do we have a motion on the floor for the discussion and possible action regarding amending the city code ordinances, chapter 153 zoning code, article 4 design and form standards, amending side setbacks, front setbacks, and rear setbacks in the MXD zoning districts? Do we have a motion? Mr. Eversole?
So, go ahead.
No, we're taking a motion. Go ahead, sir. Okay, do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Councilman Burton is second. Now we have any discussion pertaining to this item? We'll open it up for discussion. Any discussion on it? Any questions? Okay, so basically this just promotes density, right? Basically, you're promoting density for the city, making it more conducive. All right, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 4-0. Oh, no nays, one absent. Okay, now we'll move over to the item number 12 has already been taken up. Now we'll go to 13. Discussion and possible action regarding enforcement agreement for parking at Balcony Heights Business Park. Assistant Chief Robert Nelms and the Police Captain Michael Moore. Go ahead and come with your presentation.
Good evening, Mayor. I'll make this one quick. We've been receiving some traffic complaints in regards to the business park at 7001 Heights 10, particularly handicap parking space violations and parking in the fire lanes. Citizens have also complained to us about this being a routine problem. Being that it's private property, we cannot enforce traffic code on that property as of now. All we're asking for is to see if we can get the agreement between the city, the police chief, and the fire chief authorized to then go to the owner and see if he's willing to agree to allow us to enforce the traffic codes on his property.
Okay. Any problems with any kind of accusations of any official oppression or anything like that? If a council member or anything is involved in that particular process? The engagement of a complaint or anything, indeed that was took place or didn't take place, or any official from the city, would that be deemed a problem for us?
I don't believe so, Mayor, because at the end of the day, the officer makes his enforcement decision based on what's actually occurring or what isn't.
Regardless of whoever the reporting entity was, or person or individual or whoever.
I don't believe so, Mayor.
Okay. I just want to protect the interests of the city to make sure that doesn't get raised in something.
We could ask with the
we don't have to
city attorney
have a
on her
problem with
opinion
us
regarding this.
accused of that.
No, you're,
And I'm
I was fixing to
hypothetically
say,
speaking.
like I'm in court. No, Your Honor.
Yeah, and I'm hypothetically speaking.
So no, Mayor, I don't think that that creates a problem for
Okay.
this. The easiest way to make this happen is through an agreement with the property owner. I will say should the property owner not agree to this agreement, we can discuss alternatives to make enforcement happen.
Okay, perfect. I just want to make sure we're protected. I'll entertain a motion from any member.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 13, allowing the agreement to go to Balcones Heights Park, Business Park.
Okay.
Did I word
Okay.
that right, or I'm trying to look for the language in there, but.
I think you
okay.
got it right.
Okay.
And actually, just for everyone across the board, if you all would like to move to the system that says, I move to approve item number 13 as presented, that'll get us
That'll work.
through the items much more quickly.
Okay. So you move to adopt item as presented.
As presented, yes.
Okay, do we have a second to
I'll
Councilman
make a
Hernandez's
second.
motion? Councilman Burton, second that motion and call for any discussion.
Mayor, may I be recognized?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
So just to give the other council members kind of a idea of what's going on here, the tenant at Living Lavish Realty has taken upon himself to wash his vehicles in the fire lane. And first off, that creates another problem with zone, but and then in addition, park his vehicle in the handicap spot, which he is not handicapped, nor does he have a handicap sticker. The problem is that he's been very what's the word I'm looking for? Defiant in both authority and really to his fellow citizens in the community. He refuses to comply and has done so very defiantly. So what we're trying to do is just, meeting with Ian. He has indicated that he is in favor of this, and it was essentially allow the police department, if this should occur again, to go ahead and either cite or write a citation or have the vehicle towed. So that's what we're talking about. We're just trying to enforce them not using the fire lane or parking in a handicap space without proper tags on their vehicle.
Okay, so now we have a motion on the floor. We have a second by Councilman Burton. No further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Any nays? None recognized. Motion carries 4-0, one absent. All right, let's move on down. As we're moving down, we've got now the item number 14, discussion and possible action regarding Mark 43 RMS/CAD, CAD, presentation and approval of funding for Police and Fire Department. Robert Nelms, Assistant Police Chief, Police Captain Michael Moore. I'm going to take the liberty of taking this item and moving it to executive session. And we will discuss this in executive session, and then we'll come out of executive session to discuss any further or take any action if necessary. Okay, we'll move it into executive session. The time is 9:03 p.m. Okay, the time is 10:34 p.m. We have now come out of executive session, and we are now in open session. And we will now take action regarding item number 13, item number 14 of the possible action regarding Mark 43 RMS CAD presentation, approval of funding for police and fire department. Do we have entertaining a motion? Councilman Eversol.
I make a motion that we move to approve the Mark 43 RMS CAD system contract with the conditions that the payment schedule is amended as directed in closed session.
Does he need to state those payments, Ms. Trevino? Okay. Yeah, okay.
Mayor, I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, we have a second by Councilman Hernandez. All right, any further discussion? Okay, so as I'll mention in public forum that as the mayor, I do have a concern about the investment into this, considering that it's close to $500,000. And I just have a very serious concern that I don't want this turning into another investment that the city is getting into that's not going to be able to fulfill its obligation without stressing taxpayer dollars in the budget. Just want to make a note of that. Councilman Burton?
I just want to stress that I don't want to see monies coming out of different funds to make this, I don't know the way to say it.
To allocate.
To allocate towards this. You know, we've discussed how we're putting in to make this happen tonight. I don't want to see. Well, I know I was looking at you, but
And so, you know,
I don't know how to
for
tactfully,
this.
I don't know how to tactfully say it, but I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. So.
Yeah, there's
okay.
no questionability of the use of the equipment and
Nope.
how good it is.
Nope. It's, I
It's
think it's the Rolls
questionability of
Royce
finances.
system.
Yeah, just the questionability of finances. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, we'll call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any nays? Okay, Ms. Weaver,
Nay.
nay. Mr. Burton, what's your vote?
I said aye.
Aye. So we have motion, we have 3 votes, yay, and we have 1 nay, and we have 1 missing vote for Mr. Sellers. Okay, the motion carries. All right, let's move on down to the next agenda. We have item 16 because we've already talked about 15. And let's try to move through this very quickly since we're already at 10:35, 10:40 almost. Discussion and possible action regarding annexation beginning at 4626 Fredericksburg Road, Jack in the Box, and ending at Target parking lot. Maria Hernandez.
Okay, we have been discussing time and time again about Jack in the Box, how the register is not on the Balcones Heights side. It's in City of San Antonio side. So my suggestion is we own part of the mall of the Wonderland of Americas, and Jack in the Box is owned by Wonderland of Americas. So I want to get approval from the council to start doing annexation of that area I was thinking about doing it all the way to Target, but Target does not belong to the Wonderland of Americas. The land does not, is owned by Wonderland of Americas. So I'm gonna start to do the process to see if we can annex everything that belongs to Wonderland of the Americas. That way, regardless of whether the register is on one side of the building or the other, the sales tax comes to the city of Balcones Heights.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor to, so move on this?
I make a motion, I move to make a motion that giving direction to the city administrator to start the annexation.
Okay,
I second.
we have a second to that motion?
I second.
Okay, Ms. Weaver has seconded that motion. I'll call for any further discussion.
I was under the
Councilwoman
assumption,
Burton.
I was under the assumption Target's in Balcones Heights. Why are we wanting to,
There's this sliver,
just the sign, just the.
but if all that is part of, if you see your, on your packet, all the, north of the white line is not in city of Balcones Heights.
Okay,
That was my only discussion.
any further discussion? Mr. Eversol?
Just giving you the consent, is there gonna be any fees incurred by this?
Not right now.
Not until it would come back, right?
Mhm,
So
yes.
this is okay to just.
Yeah, I can start the process and see if San Antonio is going to be willing to let us have those sections of that belong to them, and maybe just going to be putting it on the newspaper, sending letters to the residents around, things like that.
Okay,
Mayor,
yes.
I want to make sure I stated it to begin negotiations. Did I say that or not?
I feel like you did, but.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Okay. All right, so now let's call the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0 with one missing vote. Okay, now the next one is going down to the 17th. It should go pretty quickly as well. Discussion and possible action to give direction to city administrator, to begin talks, beginning, so it should be to begin talks with city of San Antonio on acquiring property on Dewhurst owned by COSA. Ms. Hernandez again, please.
If you, it was brought to my attention that there's a sliver of property that belongs to city of San Antonio, and it's inside our city limits, so I want to start a negotiation to see if they give it to us. First of all, free. If not, we'll start negotiating and see how much they will want for that
Okay.
property. But we will start meeting with a councilwoman in this district and
Okay.
see if we can get that property.
Do we have a motion on the floor to go ahead and give instructions to Ms. Maria Hernandez, our city administrator, to proceed with this item?
I move to make the motion that we give the city administrator the right to talk to the San Antonio regarding the property on Dewhurst.
Okay, Councilwoman Weaver has made the motion. Do we have a second to her
Second.
motion? Okay, Councilman Burton has made the second. Now, any further discussion?
I would like to add, I'm sorry. May I-
Okay, go
may I
ahead,
be heard?
yes.
I'd like to ask if we own it, why do we have to ask permission? If
We
it's
don't
in-
own it.
It's in our city boundaries.
It's inside the city limits, but it's owned by the city of San Antonio.
Well, that's,
So that's what we got to correct.
that's an oxymoron right there.
Yeah.
And I
All
know.
right, I understand. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mayor, be I
Yes,
be
go ahead, Mr.
recognized?
Hernandez.
Where is this property at now?
It's, if you have a map on your packet, is by I-10.
Jimmy, it's that
You see
sliver of
the-
property where the ditch is across from the
Mhm.
car wash and the Shell station? That sliver
Okay,
where they park tractors on and stuff? It's
Okay.
that sliver.
gotcha.
And material, construction material and stuff like that.
Any other questions? Okay, so let's go ahead and call for the vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, no nays noted, so we have the 4-1, 4-0 with one missing. Okay? Let's go ahead and skip the closed session on the convening for the Texas Ranger discussion. We'll talk to that at the very end so that we don't hold back the department updates. Let's move with that because that's a lot more important to discuss, and then we'll have the open closed session in case the public wants to rest, leave, or whatever it may be, we save them the time. So let's start with administration, community engagement. Mr. Martinez, you have the floor.
I do not have a report, so we'll be skipping over that item until I'll be doing a quarterly report.
Okay, any questions for the community development from staff, from, excuse me, the council? Okay, let's move right on down to B, code enforcement. December summary report. Mr. Vasquez, please.
Jeremy's not here, so I'll give a quick update for code enforcement. So there is an increase in cases from 19 last January to 57 this January. So a huge increase. It's not so much that, you know, there's more cases that need to be created. It's just a lack of cases created over the past few years. So we're making sure that we're staying on top of code enforcement here. I feel like Norma's is going to have a couple questions, so I just want to address it pretty quickly here. We are actively closing out cases at Norma's, which is 4219 Fredericksburg Road. They're actively trying to maintain their property after we've given them notices. The most common case issued there is trash and debris. Are there any questions about Norma specifically before I kind of move through this?
We have neighbors that are concerned about the safety of it and regarding that it's already been burnt one time and that it's got a lot of wires hanging and things like that. And they're very concerned. They've been consistently asking me, when is that place going to get knocked down? Is there a condemnation efforts that's going to be taking place on that? Because I think we need to get serious. They have an indention in the property as well in the driveway coming in that somebody can fall, hurt themselves, things like that. Not to mention the eyesore.
So we can't condemn a property for being an eyesore. It would just have to be structurally unsafe. To my knowledge, we haven't had a building inspection there after the fire because we have not been invited on property to have that building inspection. It would need to be occupied and have a tenant for us to be able to send our building inspector on there on property to have it inspected. Given that there's only one place in our ordinances that allows for condemnation, it's through fire safety. Maybe Thomas can give a little more clarity, but when I spoke to him, as of right now, there's no concern of a fire hazard. So there's no avenue or route for us to kind of go that way right now. But again, he can provide more clarity specifically to fire safety. But there's no way we can do it for eyesore code enforcement right now because they do actively work on those cases.
Mr. Vino, do we have any powers that can be enforced?
Mayor,
to get that property in order?
I just whispered to Maria to please send me an email so I can take a little bit closer look and see if there's an alternative path forward.
Okay, sounds good. That's what I want to hear. All right, so that needs to take place. We need to, you know, y'all are doing a fantastic job in getting the city beautified. I was really surprised to see you guys, or I saw Jeremy working the weekend, and he had community service people working for these tickets and violations that are out there in exchange for picking up trash. And that looked very good.
Yeah. So one of the properties they did work on was Norma's. Yeah.
Commending you completely.
Yeah. Jeremy's been working with court and with the prosecutor and with the judge to make sure that community service is offered. I think it took 2 or 3 months to finally have somebody volunteer for community service and choose that route. But we did choose Norma's as one of the properties and then up along Hillcrest to pick up trash there. So, you know, that's something to look forward to over the next few months. More people signing up for community service and, you know, beautifying the area, like you said.
Form so I can tell the people about norms. What they told me, the neighbors that are around there said, that thing was to burn. I'll definitely not be calling the fire department. That's how much they really don't like it. But of course, they were just joking. Councilman Burton?
I did watch last month's council meeting, and I just wanted to say, Jimmy, that was a great point about, you know, code enforcement and how it's improved, and a council member wasn't here to hear that. So I'm under the assumption you did get your ticket book, or Jeremy got
We're
it?
in our final stages of getting it from Eagle Print, which is our printing vendor right now. There's some revisions that we had to make over the past few weeks, so we're just waiting for the final product to be delivered.
Okay,
That's all I
great.
had. Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody else? Any other comments? Code enforcement, okay, drop into community development. I'm sure you're ready to go on that.
Hillcrest reconstruction, so design phase is nearing completion. Our set of plans is at a 90%. Saw's water main is still approval is still pending. We have a meeting set for later this week to see where those plans are set and what the next update is going to be. Right-of-way acquisition team is preparing to communicate with property owners, so that's going to start moving along here. There's many parcels of land along Hillcrest that require acquisition from the city. A lot of them are, very small amounts of land, between 200 and 500 square feet. So it's very minimal impact to any property owners along Hillcrest. No one's going to be displaced or relocated throughout the acquisition. We're still sitting at a projected start date of late 2026, early 2027. CDBG Crestview Phase 3 construction commenced on February 16th. As of right now, the sewer main has been replaced on Crestview Drive. So from Pleasant Drive to Bobby's Lane, that old clay pipe that was installed in the 60s that's been ripped out, new pipe has been laid down. So that's the first part of the project there. For grants, EPA Brownsfield, so site inventory is still being reviewed by Terracon. It's close to completion. Once we have that, they'll supply that to us for review. We have received a reimbursement from some of our grant expenses. That took a few months, but we're starting to see money come in from that grant now. Quarterly review was submitted last month. Our next one will be submitted in April. Future CDBG funding, we discussed last meeting where that would be appropriated. So we're going to look to apply for the 2027 funding cycle for the park. There's a public hearing set with Bear County tomorrow night that I'll be attending to make sure that we're being considered for future CDBG funds. Project Dave and Buster's inspections are being requested. External signage has been completed. So you'll see the exterior face has been, redone. Looks much nicer. Interior is still, being worked on here over the next few weeks. Methodist bronchoscopy procedure room. Plans are approved. I talked to Methodist today. They were delayed a little bit, but once they get that contractor selected and funding is allocated for them, we'll see that project start to kick off here. Let's see, Public Works, Hillcrest sewer main. So we're still having issues here at 2910 Hillcrest. We still have regular scheduled maintenance to take place until the road reconstruction begins. Again, this pipe was laid in 1965, so it's deteriorating quite a bit. But over the course of the next year, once we start, getting going on Hillcrest reconstruction, we're just gonna have to do regular maintenance every 2 to 3 months or so to get a few lines jetted and make sure that no property owners are having backed up lines. Tree maintenance for Rogers Park. Arborist completed work at the park on February 9th. That took about a week and a half. Public Works completed a majority of the cleanup with help from the fire department. We'll be completing the last stages, which is some of the palms and then dumping the rest of the mulch that we have. Next city council meeting, I'll have a more itemized cost of what it was. We saved quite a bit of money doing the cleanup ourselves. Ballpark, it was about $10,000 for us to have the arborists come do the work. Typically, when they start doing the haul off, we're looking at least doubling the price, if not tripling it for them doing all the cleanup work. So quite a bit of money saved there. Upcoming discussion items, future meetings. So I still have ordinance 13003, intentional interference with passage on public sidewalks to come up. I'll bring that up for amendments to make sure trash recycle bins are put on the street against the curb as opposed to the sidewalk right away. This is just to make sure that we're not only compliance with ADA requirements, but making sure that everybody has accessibility on the sidewalks and we're not forcing anybody to walk into any streets. A few more items, temporary signage amendments. I know this has been a topic that comes up quite a bit, not only with councilmen, but a lot of business owners come to me, residents come to me asking about temporary signage. We're looking at amendments with planning and zoning and seeing what route they want to go, but we want to make it work for more businesses here. And then we're looking at adopting definitions for permitted uses for data centers. As everybody knows, data centers is becoming a more frequent item that a lot of cities have to deal with. I want to get ahead of it and make sure that we have a set definition before we start to outline whether it's something we want to allow in any zoning designation or not. So once we get that definition hammered down in planning and zoning, I'll come before y'all and we can look to adopt that. Any questions?
Any questions? Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Mr. Bird.
For those of us for everybody that stayed with us out there, when is your cutoff date for mulch And how can they, if the gates are locked and they want to bring their vehicle in? Because I had a person today want much mulch, and I got permission from you.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hesitant to let people drive into the park and potentially cause damage to any sewer drain or anything down there, stormwater drain that we have there, just because it's dated.
Well, we've got our trucks in there.
I know, but that's a different liability having, residents or businesses go in there. I will say there's a cutoff date of Friday. I want to make sure that we're getting the park cleaned up pretty soon here, and there's no visible evidence that we've done anything besides, how beautiful the
With
trees look.
permission, with, with.
Everybody's able to get mulch until Friday. Yep.
Can we take our wheelbarrows, or can we?
You can take your wheel-barrows.
Wagons,
Yeah,
wheelbarrow, whatever.
yeah, no cars in there, but wheelbarrow, yeah, you're good.
Wagons, and we
You
just
got
roll
it.
it on in,
Yep.
fill it up and leave.
As long as you're not driving in there, no matter what.
Do we need
You're
to ask permission first, or do we
No, you
go
can
on
go
in
on
and
site.
get it? If it ain't there, it ain't there, right?
Yes.
I mean, we
Okay,
can bring our
thank you.
lawnmower with a wagon on there.
Yeah,
In the park.
it's in the park, yeah, in the open field.
Okay, great. Nick, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Roy, keep up the good work. Andale. Now the city secretary, Mr. Brown.
Yeah, right. Thank you. I put in your packet this dashboard.
Yes, sir.
This is from our code ordinance website. It's telling you the type of things people are looking up. Because of, in the last 30 days, fee schedule came up and a few other times, I did put that on the landing page. You'll see that when you go to code ordinance now, you're not going directly into code ordinance, you're going into the home page. It now has fee schedule, anything that we have passed from September till now as an ordinance, we only get put up into ordinance once a year in February, this month. But all of them are there under new laws. You can see all of them that you have passed, and then it will move into the code once they go through that process at the end of this month. If you were to able to put your cursor on the dot above January, there were 1,200 people that went into our website to look for ordinances. So just FYI information about what people are looking at in our ordinance website portal. The second one is I'm following up with what I brought to you last month regarding the court traffic's case filled total. And you see that in this first subsection here at 137, up from 97 in December. We're going to trusted driver soon. And so you'll see those numbers go up. So this is just a baseline to see where we were. And then I propose, or I suppose that it will go up over time as we bring that program online. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bravo. Any questions? Okay, let's move on down to the police department report. Updating reports for police department. Chief Nems, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor. We've submitted our stats for January. We've added something new to it. If you would look on the right column, I'm not sure if you guys got it in your packet or not, but we're initiating what the chief calls as a blue blazer. It's when he receives complaints from citizens or council, or emailing, or citizens are approaching council as well, for traffic issues or other initiatives. We're directing officers into those areas. We conducted one of these blue blazer operations on Concord from January 26th to February 4th for a complaint with speeders. Over that time frame, we had about 33 traffic stops on Concord in regards to that. We've also initiated a new blue blazer for the area of Siesta and Gentleman for the same things, traffic. So far, that one has been going on for about 3 days. We're seeing about a similar trend to where the other one's going to go to. We are going to run that one for 2 weeks just to feel it out to see if it's worth continued increased operations in that area. The next thing to update you guys on is STEP program is being initiated. We are going to be receiving some STEP funds where the state's basically going to provide us funds to do overtime for traffic enforcement for the traffic enforcement occurs in Balcones Heights. Where officers will have to do that when they're not on their patrol shift. Extra fun. City phones, we've received them all. They're all ready to be issued. I believe the mayor has came to guide his, if any council members or anyone needs to get the phone, or you're having problems with the phone. No, Mr. Bravo, you have the phones for council members. Captain Moore has graciously offered to help anyone if you need help with the phone. Technology is technology, we understand. And in this process, he's became he's going to work for T-Mobile soon, filling phones. Other update for you is we did have a vehicle auction. It brought in about $8,000 in revenue to the city. We are prepping to have another auction soon, pretty soon. We may have it within the month. New legislative changes kind of allow us a faster timeline to push that, and we're trying to get some initiatives onto that. We've also initiated a property room initiative in the department. We have 40 years of backlogged evidence being held throughout this building. It needs to get cleaned up. Someone's got to do it. That buck's been being pushed for 40 years. We're pushing real hard on our reserves. We've assigned a detective to dedicate a great deal of his time to get that done. We've got a lot of issues. I believe that's it, unless you guys have any questions.
I just have one input on the lease of the auction. Would you please let me know when you're gonna, I think we talked about putting that city truck that's in the public works in the auction. Let me know when, because there's several people that are interested in the public, so I can tell them to go to that auction date and they can bid on it.
Yes, sir, Mayor, that's not a problem.
Okay, great. Is it small? What's that? Oh,
Yeah,
they do
it is
online?
done
Okay, so
online, but a
just tell me
person
when
can
you're gonna
bid
do it,
online.
And then, well, I'll tell them, get online and take a look, and then you can bid on it. That way we get some competitive bidding, maybe we can get more money for it. Okay, thank you very much, Chief. Now we'll move into the fire department. Chief Marroquin?
Yes.
Did anyone have any questions for the assistant chief? Okay. Go ahead, Mr.
Yes, sir. So this month we completed and submitted for the ACOG grant. I also had my state inspection by Texas Commission on Fire Protection. They come over twice a year, every 2 years. They look at our SOPs, they check our training records, make sure our SCBA breathing air packs are compliant, and the maintenance records and tests are up to date. They look at our breathing air compressor and make sure we're keeping up with quality tests. Check our PPE, our gear, make sure it's being maintained and cleaned in the proper time frames. We had our live burns on January 31st and February 1st, and they were pretty good. A lot of guys got a lot of good reps in. Nobody got hurt, so that's always good. We're still working on the station, cleaning up and make it look a little better. Have our scheduled cancer screenings mandated by NFPA March 31st to April 4th. We go to Leon Valley and they run tests on us, and we get on a treadmill and run and do all kinds of other for that clients. Assisted with the park cleanup. We received the vehicle extrication cutters that I applied for the grant, the Dennis Leary grant. So we received those. They're getting ready to put them into service. I spoke with Chris Herrera with the Bexar County Office of Emergency Management. We're needing our feedback report, and he had stated that he admitted that he was behind with the rodeo, so he's handling that function. So he said he'd try to get it to me by this week or next week. So, I understand he's busy, and I appreciated all his work he put into that emergency scenario, assisting us with that. Last week, went over to the H&R Autos. made contact with the manager there. Did a courtesy visit to let her know that needs to clean up, they need to clean up the property, and we actually have a formal fire inspection scheduled for Wednesday. But I did tell her housekeeping is the main issue right now. There was a bunch of stuff, but they need to focus on getting those cars out. And let her know the proximity to the apartments, and we had a fire back there last year sometime. We had to access it through the apartment, so I let her know that that's a big area of concern. And with regards to Norma's, when they had the fire, I was told the same thing. Should have let it burn, but
We can't do that.
yeah, well, we
have
can't
to
do
act.
that. But
Well,
anyway,
great job, Chief. I really appreciate you providing that. Glad that you looked at the car dealership, you got that going on. Next phase, the emergency preparedness is paramount. I think that we don't want to lose momentum. So I'm glad you're staying on top of that. So keep up the good work. Thank you so much. You've done a fine job.
Can I
Anything
have,
else for the chief?
ask a question?
Yes.
When's the CPR class is gonna start?
so I got 3 guys in class right now. They have to go through the BLS CPR instructor. through the-
Well, I was thinking of getting something together for even for the people that live here, they would like to know how to do it. I just need to be recertified, but I've had other people ask me, where do we go to for CPR? I'm going,
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be done pretty soon, within like a month, depending on how fast they get that class out, and then they'll be certified, and we'll get something going then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we will go ahead and move into the closed session. The city council will recess its open meeting and convening. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and convening closed session. Discussion pursuant to 551-071, consultation with attorney regarding Texas Ranger update and outside vendor contract. The time again is 11:05 p.m. Okay, here we go. The time is exactly 11:20 p.m. And we have come out of executive session. And how does the council say on the item of the executive session of the discussion pursuant to 551-071, consultation regarding Texas Ranger update and outside vendor contract? We have a motion on the floor. Do we have anyone that's going to make a motion?
There's
Entertain-
actually no action required on this one.
Okay,
We can proceed from
without,
closed session.
okay,
Yes, sir.
sounds good. Okay, we're done with
Can I
that.
request something for the next agenda? I mean, next meeting or whatever it is we're supposed to do? I want to know about my traffic light. Nobody's told me anything
That
about
will
my
be
traffic.
under, we'll go get that under the announcements
Okay,
and
that's the
agenda item request, okay?
Okay, fine.
We'll get that. All right, so now we're finished with that. Do we have, real quick, announcements on the brief on broadband and LTE? I went to a seminar up in Dallas at the Dallas Reserve. It was in reference to broadband LTE, and the reason we were looking at that was so that we could provide some subsidized funding for broadband for our current residents that cannot afford it, to see if we can open it up for educational, economic development reasons and all that. So people from all over the state were at this forum. They discussed everything having to do with broadband. We already have the infrastructure in place. So the broadband really didn't pertain to us. I was more interested in the LTE. The LTE is what the military uses. And basically you put up an antenna, preferably over at Wonderland of Americas. Then you give everybody a box. Cost is roughly about $30 or so for that box. And they have 5 LTE connection to the internet. The only problem is that I found out through that seminar for that idea is that it may not still keep the cost down, because what was explained to me by one of the individuals that was there that's a professional in this, he says the vendors such as AT&T, T-Mobile, all the big boys, they all have designated broadband purchased already. And so they control that market in a certain section. So you still have to go through the cost of their cost of what they charge on top of. So it may not even save money that way. So then the other option would be to discuss it with this board, which I brought it to their attention because they're the ones that regulate it, is to say in the next session that you have to consider a subsidized plan with any new development that comes in or a city is in need of it, that the language is inserted into the actual development plan. So that a city like us can qualify to get subsidized funds to offset the cost for people that can't afford it at $90 to $130 for high-speed internet. And so it was very beneficial. And I'll get some copies of what I have and distribute it to you guys so y'all can have it as a FYI. And that's it. Announcements by the city administrator. Any announcements? Okay.
Okay, we're gonna have to call a special call meeting to
Okay.
discuss the Jazz Festival. And either you're gonna want to change the name or things like that. So that's why it's important to meet as soon as possible. We were thinking maybe next Monday, because we also need to discuss about the Fiesta, Balcones Fiesta event that's happening April 24th. So we have a few questions for the council to guide us. And let me know if you can make it. It will be Monday, the 2nd, March 2nd at 6 p.m. And to be able to make a quorum, we need 4 of you. So we need, perfect.
Yeah, I can make it. Can anyone make it that day? Might as well, let's get a quorum right now to go.
The Jazz Festival and the Balcones Heights Fiesta event.
Just to formalize it. Because we've already talked about it. It's already in the works. We just need to formalize, hey, we're no longer going with a jazz fest. We're going with a music fest with a component of jazz in it and a bunch of other kind of music.
So we're gonna need 2 more council members to
we have
to be here.
Mr. Ebersol, can you commit to Monday, March 2nd at what time, Maria?
6. He said yes. Mr. Hernandez said yes.
Okay.
We need 2 more.
Okay, so we have a quorum?
We have 1 more. Are you, okay, 4.
Okay.
Okay, we got it.
And
The
then when
other
you-
thing,
When you socialize it with Mr. Sellers at the same time, you're gonna talk to him? He says no, then, then mention what I just told you.
all right, perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good. One more thing. We met with Bear County regarding Crestview. And they were telling us that our commissioner, Mr. Rodriguez, is it Rodriguez,
Justin
right?
Rodriguez,
Justin Rodriguez has assigned several solar lights for our park.
Oh, that was great.
So we're very happy for that. There's gonna be 10 solar lights
Solar lights
at the park. So that's money that we can save
funded.
because we were gonna put lights in the park.
Fantastic.
So we're just gonna have to spend money of putting it in the pavilion.
No big.
And then everything else will be solar. So we're very happy on that.
That's gonna be good. Nice. And I just want to announce, I received notice from Peter Sakai's office last week, and he has given us a full support letter on what we're doing with Florida, the EDC. Well, now we have one from Justin Rodriguez and Mr. Sakai as well from the county. So great, good news. Okay, and the monies for the grant, we're still waiting to hear them?
We're still waiting
drop
for, we should be hearing something this week or early next week. We already got an email from
Yes.
the congressman saying that the president has signed the money for us. So we're just waiting on the money.
All right.
For the community center, and I'm getting ready with an architect to be able to have a plan in place to start renovation as soon as we get the money.
Fantastic.
We will have that.
Great. Maria, did the sample come back on asbestos?
It was
It is
negative.
asbestos? Oh,
Ne-
negative.
No asbestos.
No asbestos. Good.
So thank God.
So,
Mhm.
okay, great. Any questions, Mr. Hernandez?
May I be recognized? So,
Yes, sir. Go give you some.
I have a question. Last year when we did the audit, it was the same company. And so I was under the impression that we're supposed to change that out. We're not supposed to have the same company audit our books. And my understanding is that this company has been doing it for several years now. So we should change that.
It's recommended the city change auditors every 5 years, at least for 1 year, and then go back. If you like whoever's doing your audit, you can go back to it, but to change it every 5 years, we can go out for PRQs to find another company.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then I have a suggestion. The departmental updates that we have, we always save it towards the end. Is it feasible? I mean, I don't know what the bylaws are, but can we move that to the beginning? And my suggestion is to move it in the beginning of the meeting because that's when most of the citizens are here and that they could hear all the updates rather than it being at the end and there's nobody here. So that's one
We
suggestion.
can do that if that is what you guys want. We can move it to the front.
Well, whatever the purview of the mayor and
Mhm.
you and city administrator. And then I had a couple of other suggestions. So one, I'll try to be brief with this. In Fredericksburg, their city kind of revitalized and changed economically in the late 90s when they filed for historical data or like a historical site with the federal government. And once that was approved, that brought in grant money and other things and resources. And over time, it didn't happen overnight, but it progressively happened where that whole city's been revitalized. And we do have one historical building in, so I want to encourage you to file for some kind of historical thing with the federal government. So hopefully we can, start that process and maybe open up some doors for grant money and things of that nature. Plus, that's part of our history that we can add to the visitor center. And then finally, I don't want to wait too long. I think we need to appoint somebody in the city to start putting a plan together for Christmas. We need to have that in, moving forward, kind of more concrete. So just like we're planning right now for Fiesta and the festival, the music festival, I think we need to start putting that together, maybe come back to council in the next month or two with a concrete plan of what we're going to do for Christmas. So that's all I have.
Do you mean the Christmas parade or?
Whether we're going to do a parade or Christmas light, whatever we're going to do, we need to start
Okay.
planning it out. Yeah.
Right, good suggestion, Jimmy. And I just want to close with one thing. If we can paint the crosswalks at Gentleman and Hillcrest. Mr. Dean Hilton Nelson is a citizen that asked me to put this on here. He was sitting right back here, the real thin gentleman. He's back here in the back. He asked if he can do that, please. For him.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's it. Anything else? Anybody else?
The
Yes, we have
lights.
a motion to adjourn. Oh, your lights.
Thank
Put them
you.
on there now. Yeah, put it on there now.
I'd like to put on for the next meeting is what happened to my lights. I want the yellow arrow on all the lights in Balcony Heights on Fredericksburg Road. For the simple fact, everybody else has them, why don't we? And it would make it so much easier, especially at the big major intersections, because a lot of times there's no traffic and you're sitting there. And then it's gonna skip you because you got there too late. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many timely things.
So you want to check the timing sequence of those lights, no?
She wants to have the yellow arrow.
The yellow
We'll
turn
talk
light.
to text that and see what they
Okay.
say.
So whatever
Turn on the
it
yellow
takes,
light
she's been
allowed,
asking
whatever.
that now for a couple times and let's.
I've
get
already-
action
Okay,
behind it
we'll get
for her,
something.
please.
Okay.
Okay, Council. Okay, motion
It's
to
supposed to
adjourn or
be
you got one
do the
more?
line.
Last
No
thing.
running
Let's go.
involved.
I mean,
Okay,
it goes without saying, you know what I'm going to say, right?
Councilman Burton just wants to make one last thing.
The ordinance for the turning loose the animals and the cat thing.
I put it on the March
Okay,
agenda,
thank you.
but it's not an ordinance, so you need to talk to me if you'd like an ordinance versus
Yeah.
a discussion.
Yes.
Okay.
Discussion and action. And then I would also, I heard the last meeting about the ADA compliance on the trash cans. I think we should ask Frontier if they will give us some reflective tape that we can put on the trash cans since you're blocking the street now. I would say that most people that are on scooters and your sister included, they use the street. They don't use the sidewalk because of the up and down. I mean, and so if we're going to put these containers out on the street, which my street is all compliant now, I've talked with them, maybe some reflective tape so that they're visible. They're dark green at night. Just ask Frontier if they would do that for us.
Okay, great. Any other things? So thank you, everybody, for taking time to be here. All the council members for spending the time to do this service of the community. Thank you, staff, for being here. Thanks for all your input. We appreciate everything. We take it to heart. We will take everything into consideration and keep up the good work. Thank
I
you.
make a motion to end this.
All right, Nation motion to adjourn is accepted by Councilwoman Weaver.
Second.
Do we have a
Thank
second?
you.
All in favor?
Aye.
No nays?
I need your notebooks.
4-0, one missing.
I need your notebooks. Don't
The
run off
time
with your
is-
notebook.
Give me some time, Jack. Time is 11:33 PM for the record. Thank you.